What does everybody think of that intro then? How we doing? Our good friend Derek out of Los Angeles got in touch today and said, hey, Metrix, you know you make the best thumbnails on YouTube. I mean, today not included. I did this in about 5 minutes. Forget this. He said, you know you make the best thumbnails on YouTube. How about you use some of your fantastic artwork in the intro instead of what you have now? And I read the message and I thought, damn, Derek. Of course, that is a fantastic idea. We make the best thumbnails on YouTube, and yet we've got a poxy, rubbish, threshold level introduction, footage. So it could be the very last time we see this current introduction video, guys. Enjoy it while you can. Should we watch it once more just to remember the good times gone? It seems so obvious now. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna many men. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be going through the artwork and looking at what we can do, maybe as a tribute to Donna Adelson and her fantastic legal case. It'll be Adelson only content. No Sarah Boone, no Jodi Arias, no Chandler Halderson, or any of the others that we covered on our fantastic channel page. Anyway, welcome everybody in the chat. It's part 3, final part, grand finale of the Wendi Adelson Interrogation tonight. And what are we going to be doing? Well, she's going to be pointing the big old fat liar's finger at Jeff Lacasse. Jane has been into the interrogation room. She's done her job. She was prepped. She came in. She threw the loaf of bread with jealous, burnt into the crust right at the feet of Jeffrey Lacasse. And now Wendy has license. Jane actually introduced us, which is why she thought of him first. I didn't even think about Jeff. What else is happening in tonight's segment? We're going to be hearing Wendy's call to main base. Mom, I need you to sit down. Danny has been shot. What? At his house. That's coming in tonight's video, guys. And what else? Well, I don't really remember. But it's going to be fantastic. And yeah, it could be the last time we see the Wendi Adelson interrogation in its entirety before Donna's trial. Obviously, we're going to be playing it again when the time comes that she herself is arrested. But just let me have a look at my notes here. Got a good idea well, I'm not even going to introduce that right now. Don't worry about that. But man, it's been a busy day. These hours, where are they? They don't exist. I need 3 of me to do all this work. You wouldn't believe it. Anyway, let's get cooking or cracking or cook some crack. Okay. Here we go.
Am I just going to be here for...
How's the audio tonight, guys? Good?
Like hours?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they're just, quite honestly, waiting on the phone. Remember how we told you they put it on a machine?
Yeah, that he had to...
Right, to do the phone, and it just takes,
forever,
depending what's on there, as far as if you have lots of pictures of the kids, or, it takes some time to do that.
Yeah.
And then they actually brought your van back here, and I got the car seats out of that, and I think they were finishing up, so I think that's all they're waiting.
I'm going to need the police help to get the car seats back in.
You may.
I always have them installed here.
Yeah, and on the strap that goes over, we hooked them. I didn't tighten them as tight as they should be. I was like, here, can you see? And she's like, nope, I'm good, because they weren't moving. So it's definitely a chore. That's why my face is so red, because I've been out there doing that. But I'll touch base with Isom. Hopefully it's not.
We wanted to talk to him about a potential lead. So
okay, I'll let him know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely wanted to talk to him about a potential lead. Initials JL.
Sorry, I know it's a lot of running around and...
I want to
and I told him that, and he said it should be relatively soon that you get your phone back. I don't know.
Why not use someone else's phone?
I don't, yeah, because you know the number. Let me go ask again and just be like, can she just call?
Yeah. Do you have a phone, right?
Cell phone?
If I could borrow it, then.
She's gone into some deep breathing here, maybe a little bit of yoga, a little bit of awkward yoga. Really going. This is like what people do before they take a bungee jump, isn't it? Just go into that deep Zen space. In through nose, out through mouth. Because, 10 minutes ago it was all, what is going on? What am I going to tell the kids? Got to do that video tomorrow, split screen. Wendy in a room, Jeff in a room, alone, thinking, breathing, processing. Or in Wendy's case, scheming. Maybe she's saying a prayer for Dan Markel. Silently, in her head. It's the grief. It affects people in different ways. Some people have a smile like a Jack Nicholson Joker. Others laugh and joke and flirt with Mr. Buff, Inspector Buff. Has he been in yet? Did I miss that yesterday? I don't think he's been in yet.
How you doing?
Every time I see that skirt, I have a panic attack.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
How are you doing?
I feel like my head's about.
How are you doing? I have never, ever once in my life been able to stomach the women that do the baby voice. It's never worked on me, not even a bit. Not even one little bit.
About to explode.
I'm about the same.
Okay. I need to find out This number here, 6800.
That's Danny's number. Wait, 6800.
He was shot 7 hours ago, and it's taken it's taken TPD that long to work out what his fucking cell phone number is. His phone was right there. Just use his phone to call a detective's phone and check what the number is, you morons.
202.
8200.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm just going through, these are phone calls that you made.
Yeah.
Charlie's your brother?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Riding Shotgun says, who doesn't want Adelson action figures? Does this include the good guys too? Judge Everett and Queen Georgia? Absolutely. You know, I was just listening to the very first live broadcast where we introduced this, and of course, all of the action figures are going to have their own special catchphrase, right? Where you press the belly or the hand or a button on the back and it says what they say. So, for instance, Judge Everett's action figure, which will need to come in a special sized wider box. Everything's to scale, okay? His action figure is going to say, powers of contempt will be exercised, and also, I slept like a baby. And George's, of course, will be saying, no further questions. You know, yeah, we're absolutely going to have the good guys. We're even going to have, are we going to have Ison? I guess so. He's such a player in this case. Jeff Lacasse also, of course. I don't know if there's going to be room for a Tamara Dempko. Maybe if we manage to get the unredacted version of her law enforcement interview. See what else she has to say. We need to build that following. Yes, but please do help us with our goal at the top of the chat, guys. And I need to do a poll to see if anyone thinks we should start a separate fund for this on Kickstarter. Is that a thing anymore? Or GoFundMe? Because I've worked out what we need to really get this going and have them for sale at the next Crime Con in, where is it? Denver or New Orleans? New Orleans. We can talk about that later. Let's start off tonight's show.
Well, I didn't call any like weird sex hotlines or anything this morning.
That's okay. We've seen that
really
before.
Embarrassing.
That's all right. You checked your voicemail yet?
Oh.
Sex hotlines. I mean, I know it's 2014, but we already had the internet. Okay? Sex hotlines is going back to what? 1998?
Or no, you
Why
checked.
would it be a 305 number?
I don't know. Your number. Isn't that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, called this number.
Okay. That says voicemail.
Right.
Okay, I
I
guess
don't know
it's
what
the
I don't know
voice.
what that means, but I'm just basically going over this with you to see if you can clear up anything. And of course, this is Charlie, your brother. Charlie, your brother. Michelle Turner.
A friend of mine who lives in Colorado. Renee. Renee's the one that used to be the victim advocate. Renee is a very close friend of mine that is interviewing at FSU today for a position and leaving at 7:30. And if there was ever a woman I would really like to get a hug from, it's Renee, but I don't want to bother her on her.
Rita Hinden.
That's the mother of my friend Tova Nugget. So it must be like a family plan under her mom's name for some reason. But
So you called the friend.
my friend Tova was returning her message.
TOBA?
TOVA, Tova.
Okay.
Cosmic Kitten, can you reach out to me on Gmail, truecrimemetrics@gmail, and I'll pick up some information from you that I can use to contact the company. I'm so pissed off with these bastards. I'm so sorry. I mean, Teespring is supposed to be the best company in the world that produces this shit. That's why I went with them. I was with someone else before, a smaller company before them. I used to print t-shirts too. I know how long it takes. I'm so sorry you've had a bad experience, Cosmic Kitten. Let's talk on Gmail, and I'll get some information with you with your order reference, that kind of stuff, and I'll chase these fuckers because I'm really pissed off. It's been months now. They assured me that their production was all good and sorted, and please do get in touch with me on Gmail. truecrimemetrics@gmail.com. Thank you, Cosmic Kitten.
Emily Benfer?
I didn't talk to her. I sent her a text.
Okay, I see it.
Just sent her I just sent her a gift for her baby, and she was texting me to thank me.
We're going to talk about Jeff here in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. That guy. That jealous thug. Jealous Jeff.
Like part of the ceiling just fell off.
I know, I was worried about that too. It's like that one's probably before, but maybe it was some others.
I really can't. I guess I need to hold on to this in case Danny needs
Just have it in case, yeah. And I took it down too, so when I get in contact with his parents, I can refer.
It would matter to them
Okay.
to have contact with like the local Jewish stuff in town. I bet that's I won't answer it, but it's my friend Robin, and I bet she's in the general counsel's office at FSU. I bet she's. I wonder what people have seen by now.
I don't know, and that's kind of why we're trying to get his parents notified, because it's very difficult now.
You see what Wendy just did there? We know she likes to name drop to impress, yeah? Oh, he's an author, he's a veterinarian, he's a lawyer, he's blah, 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 he's a senator. We know she likes to do that to impress, but this was different, okay? And you could tell from Sarah's reaction, that statement was designed to say, hello, little girl, I'm Wendi Adelson, and I'm way up here. You're down here, working in a building where the fucking ceiling is coming down, okay? That's your role, below me, okay? Stay in here, let the ceiling fall on your head. I have a friend on the general council at FSU. Do you understand where I am and where you are? Good. Now you're going to listen to me. She's totally leading this woman. She's intimidating this woman, this girl. See it again, guys. See it again.
To have contact with like the local Jewish. It's my friend Robin, and I bet she's in the general counsel's office at FSU. I bet she's. I wonder what people have seen by now.
I don't know, and that's kind of why we're trying to get his parents notified, because it's very difficult now to beat technology and news.
You see, before, when Wendy was all tears and crying, Sarah was able to take the lead and say, listen, Wendy, look at me, everything you're feeling right now, these are valid feelings, blah, 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 blah. But now it's different, right? What she just did there was like what a junior employee does to their boss, you know, sort of nervously saying, well, this is what I'm, my role is doing, and this is why I wanted to, am I doing a good job? Tell me I'm good. Tell me I'm doing a good job. Please, boss. Please, Mrs. Boss. Hello, boss. Yes, sir, boss. Right away, boss. Can I get that for you, boss? One more time.
It's my friend Robin, and I bet she's in the general counsel's office at FSU. I bet she's. I wonder what people have seen by now.
I don't know, and that's kind of why we're trying to get his parents notified, because it's very difficult now to beat technology and news sometimes in this field.
I missed Robin. Please call Jimmy Judkins.
Do you think Sarah's ever spoken to someone at the General Council at FSU? No, she's not invited to those meetings. Those are higher than her. Anyway, thank you, Amy, for this super support sticker chat. And Amy says, which Wendy action figure would you choose to produce first? Interview Wendy or grey dress Wendy? It's a good question. At first I was thinking that they'd just have different outfits and you could dress them up. But I don't want to look at Wendi Adelson's naked body. So those clothes have to be molded on. Molded on. I guess we'll do it in chronological order, right?
That's my attorney. Should I call him? That's my attorney for the divorce case, not like an attorney for like...
You'll certainly get it, Cosmic Kitten. I've never heard of an order not coming through. I've heard of them being delayed. And rest assured, send me the purchase ID and I'll reach out to them and kick them in the balls in a letter, through a letter.
Investigator Isom finishes phoning you. I'd call whoever you feel comfortable with calling.
Okay. just need to know you're all okay. I don't even know who these people are. Can I listen to the message from Robin just to hear what's like why I need to call Jimmy? She's called a lot of times. God, I wonder what she knows. Try the... Can you write? Oh, she's gonna text me. Never mind. It's weird. So why would Jimmy need to talk to me? He's my lawyer for the divorce case. This is Lincoln from last week.
Cute and very pretty hair. Very serious in that picture.
So cute.
She's just killing time now. There's no work for Wendy to do with Sarah. Sarah is irrelevant, right? She's nothing more than company in the room at this point, right? Wendy's still sticking around because she wants to paint that big old red circle around Jeff's feet. And then she's out of here, right? You brought my car for me? Okay. You're going to drive me home? Great, thank you.
I just am curious, like, what's coming in. Right now it looks like a whole bunch of nothing. No one's writing me yet.
Nan, thank you for asking how Soap is. We did go to the vet today, but it was kind of like an appointment-only thing. They're usually walk-ins around here, but we booked an appointment for tomorrow morning at 11:30, so we're going to get that lump checked out. And she's a girl.
Secret stuff. Governor Scott has things going on.
Riding shotgun. Katie's action figure is going to say, "It was wobbling. It was wobbling. Wobbling."
Here.
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
954-803-0079.
Not even looking at her, not wanting to engage, not wanting to, giving the number because refusing it would not look good, but giving it while you're still looking at your own phone is not engaging with the possibility that there would be some reason further along the line where Wendi Adelson is going to answer any fucking phone call from Sarah Latour. That's not in the future, okay? Blocked.
Okay.
All right. I was just looking to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nothing going on, and then my attorney really wants to talk to me.
Okay.
Did you hear about that?
No.
I think it's nothing. It says we
Your
got
attorney for
our divorce case.
Oh, okay.
It says we got a new judge.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay.
I
All right.
think
Let's. I mean, I didn't know earlier, but apparently you got a guy in your life named Jeff.
Yeah.
Since we got a new judge, what you mean? Since Danny accused your previous attorney of having unclean hands in the handling of your case, threatened her bar card for doing something dodgy, she, what is the word? Withdrew as your attorney, and you had to find another one at $600 an hour. What's this stuff about, since we got a new judge? That's got fuck all to do with it, Wendy. You had conned someone into doing your dirty games. It blew up in their face and threatened their livelihood. And she left. That's why you have a new attorney. It's got nothing to do with a new judge. Okay? Let's be honest today. Oh no, that's never going to happen.
Okay, tell me about Jeff.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to hide anything.
No, I know you weren't.
I just didn't think to tell you about him. So he's been my boyfriend.
And I'm so sick to death. I mean, Isom, love you, babe. I would be at that mud pie eating competition cheering you on from the sidelines. But in this room, what is wrong with you? Okay? Why are you doing this? Oh, I know you weren't. You know, I know you're my niece. What? I've never seen a single detective act like this. It's very, very bad. I mean, if he was younger and not like 2 years away from retirement, and I was his boss, I'd go in and say, listen, this is not the job for you, okay? Go back to, I don't know, working in a bar, emptying all the nickels out of the pool tables or something, okay? Just a detective? No. You've not got it, okay? You've not got it. Give me your badge and gun. Give me your badge and gun. You're on 3 weeks unpaid suspension, starting now.
We've been dating since end of October. Jane actually set us up, which is why Jane thought of him first. And Jane and I had a long talk earlier this week. We went on a walk together.
Yeah. Underline that. Jane thought of him first. So it couldn't possibly be me who set him up. Even though I went for a walk with Jane before the murder, but after Gainesville, and told her all about what I had tricked Jeff into doing by rubbing my infidelity all over his face. You know, long game, isn't it? You're going to start a relationship with someone, fuck with their head completely, have chocolates sent to you from Miguel, you know, leave your GPS so that they can look and see that you've been at the Orlando Hilton when you were supposed to be in Miami. Then leave your day planner on the coffee table with 10,000 notes about lunch with Daniel Sack with little hearts drawn around them, you know. Do all of those things to trick Jeff into flying, well, I wouldn't say fly into a jealous rage, that's how she put it. Have a difficult conversation where he just said, listen, I know what's going on, so can we just cut the shit and have an honest conversation about this? You know, blinded by his own desire, and not just sexual desire, but a desire to settle into a mature relationship, right? He's early 40s, wanted a family, would have, you know, had gotten really close with her kids, especially one of them, I think it was Ben, the older one. Do all of that, then really get blatant with the infidelity. And you know, all of these other things that she was doing, so that he will go into a difficult conversation. You can respond by curling up into the fetal position and crying like a 3-year-old, further maddening him, and then take your chump friend Jane for a walk where you can plant the seeds that will grow in her fertile soil, in the topsoil, and then somehow arrange all of there's just this whole collection of situations with the interrogation room. I mean, how Wendy managed to pull it off, to get Jane into this room was amazing. You know, but even if she hadn't have been called into the room, which was a complete possibility, right? She could have been She could have been far away, or the cops should have said, hey, that's not a good idea. We're not bringing strangers in here. Anything could have happened. Wendy knows that eventually Jane would be speaking to the police. They spoke to everyone, right? So that she could say Jeff. But it just so happened that it worked out perfectly for Wendy that Jane came into the interrogation room. So when she says, oh, well, Jane introduced us, so that's why she thought of him first. And therefore, it couldn't be my original intention, because if I'd have been setting up Jeff, I'd have brought him up straight away. Well, we know that you're a little bit cleverer than that, you see. It's just like not cancelling your fucking arrangements and engagements and travel plans to Tallahassee. What idiot is going to plan a murder so that they can move to Miami, and then as it's approaching the date say, well, I'll be moving to Miami after the murder, so I better cancel all my plans. Oh. Sometimes it's hard to know, isn't it, whether she's smart or dumb or what, but she's still free, so there is that.
Talked about, I wasn't really sure.
Hey, thank you so much. Just before we continue, guys, while I'm talking, so I don't have to interrupt again, thank you. Who is that? I know who it is. Where is it? Victoria Girl. Metrix videos. We all love them. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, Victoria Girl.
I wanted to continue dating him. We had like a fight at the end of June, and it was weird, and then I went away for 2 weeks and just got back, and I asked him to just no contact for a week just so I could kind of figure out whether I wanted to be with him or not.
When did you ask him that?
Monday night after yoga. I sent him an email Monday night.
Yours or his yoga or both?
I don't know what that means. I went to a yoga
Who
class.
went to yoga, together or?
Like together.
Okay.
Some guys like yoga.
I'm not judging, I'm just asking.
I go to yoga, or I
and
used
Jeff
to.
goes too?
And he would go with me sometimes.
So Monday night, after yoga.
I sent him...
This past Monday?
This Monday,
okay.
yes, July 14th.
Okay.
I just sent him an email and said, you know, my heart is really heavy and I'm having trouble figuring out what to do. It'd be a lot easier if I just, like, didn't have any contact from you for 1 week, and then we'll kind of figure out where to go from there. And so I haven't had any contact from him.
Was he amicable to that, or did he...
He didn't respond to it. I said, I'm going to take your silence as acceptance. And
Oh, okay, you were in person telling him.
no, I emailed him after yoga. He'd been like, let's go out tomorrow, let's go out the next day, and I have a hard time saying no, and
right.
So I didn't say no in person, and then later I wrote him and said I really just need like a week of silence to get some clarity on where we are.
Okay, so he never responded. Still has not responded.
The only response I had is that I bought some presents for Ben for his birthday when Jeff and I went to Destin one time and he had them at his house. And so he brought them. I came to work and there was a bag of the presents from his house. But I had asked him at yoga, I said, oh, when you get a chance, I'm really going to need you to bring those presents because I don't have the boys this week and I could wrap them. And so he just brought the presents so I could wrap them.
When did he bring them?
It must have been Tuesday morning.
Classic. Yeah, now that I've fucked with your head, brought you to yoga, told you to start, the boys should call you daddy, asked you to move in, told you not to buy a 2-seater car, because we'll need 4 seats. Then I'm going to take you to yoga and be really awkward. Then I'm going to send you an email and say I don't want to see you for a week, even though I've been in Miami for 16 days not looking after my kids. And then, after all that back and forth, twisting your emotions like a wet dishcloth, do me a favour, will you? Bring those presents. And I just think it would have been fantastic. It would have been played so well into Wendy's story of this jealous thug if Jeff had flown into a rage and set fire to the presents, and then sent her a picture of them burning with a text that said, bitch. Fucking bitch. That she could show to the police. You see, he burnt the children's gifts. And he sent me this abusive text. In the movie version, I think there'll be, one of those scenes that's like a false scene where it's just someone drifts off into a fantasy of what they really want to do. It's just Jeff sitting on a bench thinking about the case, and then thinking about the relationship, and then suddenly you think it's real in the movie, but after it just cuts and he's still on the bench and it's just a daydream, right? But he's pouring all the presents on the floor, covering them in petrol and setting fire to them, taking pictures.
At some point, I think I got to I'm not in the office like 9 to 5 right now because I just finished teaching and students are out of session, and so I have writing deadlines, so I work sometimes from home or from a coffee shop, and so I rolled into work sometime mid-morning, and they were there. So I don't know what time he was there, but I could ask my assistant.
Well, that's all right. You're saying you asked him for him
and he brought him
on the phone, I guess?
Yeah, when I saw him at yoga on Monday,
okay.
I had mentioned to him that I wanted to wrap these presents. I had most of the week without the boys, and I was, looking for something to do. I might as well wrap Ben's birthday presents, and so he brought them to the office.
So he brought them even after the whole...
I said no contact, but yeah.
Okay. Why would you say, how long have you been seeing Jeff?
Since the end of September.
Okay. All right. And so since September, you all have been seeing each other exclusively?
In the fall, I was dating someone else too, and the relationship really evolved around February. I post-divorce, so I was kind of slow to
right.
But so I jokingly used to call him my special man friend, and around February, he started being more like my boyfriend. He started spending some time with the kids, and they really adore him. And I introduced him as mommy's friend, not as mommy's boyfriend, so they just think of him as Jeffrey, and he plays Star Wars with them. And so he and I would...
Damn mute button. Sorry, mute button. Yeah, no, in the February, he started being more like my boyfriend, but for the kids, I introduced him as Mr. Babysitter, or Mr. Belvedere. Yeah, we called him Mr. Belvedere, and we bought him this little pink housework apron that he had to wear as part of his role, It had pockets so that he could keep everything in, dusters and spray polish. He'll be fixing a few things around the house, making sure the kitchen floors are sparkling at all times, and looking after the children.
Spend time together on the nights or the days I didn't have the boys, and then when I had the boys, he never stayed over, but he would sometimes join us for dinner and play with the kids and then go home. And things actually worked great, and I was very happy.
He would join us for dinner. He would cook dinner, anything I want. I phone him up and I say, Mr. Belvedere, tonight I would like salmon en croûte. You think you can handle that, Mr. Belvedere?
And then we went to Gainesville together. He's a social work professor at FSU, and he was teaching a class at Gainesville, and so I didn't have the boys that weekend. I went with him to work on some writing, and we had a great weekend until Saturday night. We went out to dinner, we came home, and he just was convinced that I'd been cheating on him for months, and had kept track of it, and was just absolutely convinced that I was cheating on him.
Hang on, we got to come back to that. Thank you, Jam Cracker, for the $10 super chat to help us with our goal, our fantastic goal. Adelson action figures, top of the chat, guys, top of the chat. Thanks for streaming. I appreciate your humor. I appreciate you, Jam Cracker. Okay, we're moving on to Gainesville now. Just back 10 seconds, right? 20 seconds.
Teaching a class at Gainesville, and so I didn't have the boys that weekend. I went with him to work on some writing, and we had a great weekend until Saturday night. We went out to dinner, we came home, and he just was convinced that I'd been cheating on him for months, and had kept track of it and was just absolutely convinced that I was cheating on him. And I kept telling him I wasn't, and he just...
Really got to break down the chapters here, guys. Now that I've got a table and a pen, I tell you what, living in this house is fantastic. We're eating real healthy. We've got a refrigerator and a table and a pen. We need to write down the chapters, right? We need to write down the chapters. Gainesville is one of those chapters. Gainesville. And what is another chapter? Just as we move on through, you know, you've got Yardbird. You've got the failed attempt. You know, if you just imagine the book built up of these chapters and segments, because they really, that's the way to tell the story, isn't it? Chronologically. Anyway, thank you, Jam Cracker. Let's move on.
I felt like not very trusting of me, and it just made me feel really uncomfortable. And after that happened, I wasn't sure that I wanted to be with him anymore.
I'm wondering what brought this on, the whole not trusting thing.
I mean, I'd been dating someone.
Yeah, me too, Ison. Me too, I'm wondering. You know, no smoke without fire, huh?
In the fall, and so he knew...
Oh, here we go. Here's Officer Buff. Watch Wendy light up like a Christmas tree.
He had asked me...
Or a menorah. Light up like a menorah.
Did you see someone else in the fall? Kind of once things were good with us, maybe around April, and I said I did, and I told him about it, and he felt like, I don't know, he was jealous of him, and he was like, I don't want you to see him, and the guy I was dating was leaving town, and so I said, well, I want to, go get coffee with him before I leave town, and he said, like, I really...
Did she ask permission for that? I don't think she did, because I think she just showed up to the coffee shop that she knew Jeff went to every day, right? Said to Daniel Sack, yeah, let's make coffee. I'll tell you what, I know this little place in town. It's called Red Eye Coffee. Is that the one? Or was it another one? Yeah, I don't believe that there was a prior permission seeking from Jeff to have coffee with a goodbye coffee with Daniel Sack.
I don't want you to do that, and we had an argument about it, and I went and had coffee with him anyway, and he ended up at the same coffee shop at the same time and saw us having coffee and got really angry, but...
When was that?
That was May.
May.
Like mid to late May, maybe.
Okay. Well, do you think it was a coincidence, or do you think he intentionally went to that?
I think it was a total coincidence.
Okay.
I was only there for like 30 minutes, and yeah, I think it just is a small town.
Okay.
Up,
all right. What kind of car does Jeff drive?
I'm really bad with this. It's silver.
Isom, there's more to being a detective than spelling Monroe and asking what cars people have, okay? You need to go back to the academy, okay?
Colored. I think it's a Nissan. It's very old and very rundown.
Yeah, it could be a Ferrari. It was either a Nissan or a Ferrari. I don't know cars.
Silver Nissan?
Gray, silver.
Okay.
I don't know colours, and I don't know cars.
I want to say 2 doors.
2 door?
And I don't know what year it is. I have no idea.
You pretty sure about the 2 door?
I'm pretty sure. I feel like, yeah.
Is it his car exclusively?
Exclusively. He doesn't even have to share it with anyone.
Okay. Does he live alone?
Mm-hmm.
Where does he live?
He lives in an apartment complex. I've actually only been over there once because he was kind of embarrassed. It's a basement apartment, and it's off Park Street. I think it's called Victory Gardens.
Okay.
It's like between Park and Appalachia.
Mm-hmm. It's off Victory Garden, but you don't know the name of the complex?
I thought that's the name of it. Is Victory Gardens a road?
Victory Gardens a road, yeah.
I thought that was the name of the apartment.
That's all right.
Is it closer to Park Avenue, or is it closer to, or is it halfway down?
It's if you turn left If you're on Park and you're heading toward
Cosmic Kitten, if you're still with us, I got your email, okay, and I vow to you that I'm going to be writing to them tomorrow with these details, and I've obviously got your email address, and I'll let you know what goes on when I put the pressure on these fuckers, the thumb screws. It's going to be a late night in Chinatown when I get my hands on these guys.
downtown. If you turn left, it's on your right.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm sorry. I'm Investigator Cherry.
If you turn left, if you're on Park and you're heading towards downtown, if you turn left, it's on your right.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm sorry. I'm Investigator.
Oh, missed it.
Down.
It's if you turn left, if you're on Park and you're heading towards downtown, if you turn left, it's on your right.
Okay.
Who are you?
Okay. Head, swing, eyes up, big smile. That is the signature Wendi Adelson fuck me pose, right? I mean, she's laying it on for Mr. Buff. She's already given her phone number to Sarah Latour, no interest there. If Mr. Buff asks for her phone number, ooh, she'll write it in lipstick. She'll write it on his chest in lipstick. Backwards, so that he can see it in the mirror.
I'm sorry. I'm Investigator Cherry. I just got a couple of questions if I can just jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, we asked earlier about Danny's passcodes to his phone, his iPad, and all his stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you one that he used to have back in the day.
Yeah, let me have that one.
God, it's the only one I can think of, though.
It's okay.
I know a passcode used to be Meragleam 1. It was M-E-R.
Hey, nice comment, acapella, red rum. Yeah, I like that.
A-G-L-I-M 1.
I'm sorry, M-E.
E is an elephant. R-A-G-L-I-M. Meragleam 1. But this is like...
It's a while ago.
It's a while
I got that. Well, here's the thing. I got 3 kids. And we've downloaded a lot of games on our phones and our iPad and everything, and the little buggers will try to know the passcode. Now, Danny seemed very involved with his children.
Yeah.
I got that sense as soon as I stepped in the house. Is there any chance that the kids may
Maybe they know the iPad code. They might.
All right, when we get a chance, can we...
Abba has an iPad, what's his code? Every time she does that, why do I put myself through this, guys? I don't know how many times I've listened to this 5-hour interview. I'd say it's more than 50. How many hours is that total? 250 hours? Is that what it is? Yeah. 5 hours, 50 times. 250 hours. That's a lot of hours. What's that in days? Saying that, that's only 10 days straight, right? And a bit. Maybe I've listened to it more than 50 times. That doesn't seem too much.
Just double check and see that, because that might help us out.
Can I ask them rather than you? I just think.
Oh, no. I want you to ask them.
Absolutely. They know. I don't have an iPad, but my parents do, and they know, like, what's the secret code? You know,
Right.
So they would know if Abba had a secret. That's what they call Danny. They call him Abba. They would know if Abba had a secret code. What's the secret code?
Right.
So I can ask them in a way that.
And so the iPad and the phone, if they know.
Does his phone have a passcode?
Yeah.
Do you have his phone? Yeah.
Here's the kid's date of birth.
I was thinking.
Hey, Wendy, she's always doing this, right? Oh, I don't want the police to pick up my boys because they'll be scary. It's scary. Oh, I don't want you asking my boys about the secret code for the iPad. It's scary, scary. Wendy. Police know how to talk to children in a way that isn't scary. And I mean, there's specific cops that are trained to deal with kids in difficult, traumatic situations and not upset them. You know? I mean, it's about creating those boundaries, isn't it? You guys are going to be here. I'll go in and speak to the kids and get the secret code. You know, it's like, you know, back off, cops. Scary cops.
I mean, I don't know. Usually people use like dogs. We don't have a dog. He didn't have a dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Usually people use like dogs. We don't have a dog, so it wouldn't be a dog. So why bring up that? Why? What? Strange woman, isn't she? But I don't believe that any little strange idiosyncrasy that she has, like that. We see that kind of behavior example throughout all of Wendy's exposures. I don't believe that any of it's by accident. It's all serving a purpose. Everything she does is intentional. Not intentional. It is intentional with Wendi Adelson, just like the murder was intentional. Just like driving down Trescott was intentional. Just like throwing Charlie under the bus less than 20 pages into the transcript of a 5-hour interview was intentional.
Yeah. Well, the texts are telling me that it was possibly a number. Like, mine's a number and not necessarily a word.
I would think it would be a number.
So I was thinking maybe birthdays and whatnot.
Yeah.
So one son's birthday is July 29, 2009.
Which one's that?
Benjamin.
That's Ben.
And any other ones is October 13th, 2013.
No, 2012.
I'm sorry, 2010.
You were wrong to hear that.
I know.
That's Lincoln.
I was there for it. Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Picture me, Mr. Buff, being there for the birth of my child, with my middle bits just out on display. Are you picturing it, Mr. Buff? That's what that was about.
Yeah, mine are 6, 3, and 8 months tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, just let me know.
Okay, so I will, as soon as I see them and it's appropriate, I'll ask them and see if I can find out.
Well, he can try the 2 date of birth now.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. I just meant in terms of asking them what's obviously the code.
And it may be important to kind of get that out of the way.
I know, I just meant like I haven't seen my kids
No,
yet.
I understand that. I understand that. And it is.
As soon as I see them and I can be like, does Aunt Lynn have an iPad? You know, does Bob has an iPad? What's his code? I'll ask as soon as I can.
I'm happy that I don't have a gun, because I think I would shoot myself in the face. Like, if there was a gun on this desk right now and I had to listen to that, does Aunt Lynn have an iPad? Abba has an iPad. What's his code? Oh! But I think what's telling is that I bet she does that all the time, right? To get information about Danny, to get information about Amy Adler, to get information about how Dan's been getting on. She's a nosy, controlling bitch, and driving past the house to come to terms with the divorce is checking up on him, keeping tabs, you know? Just gotta know all his shit so that she can feel that she has the advantage over all, right? Is he in? Who's that? Whose car is that on the driveway? Is that her? Is that the tenured professor from NYU with a fashion designer brother and a house in the Hamptons? Is that her? The 50-year-old, but she's better looking than me. Is that her? Well, a 50-year-old is better than a 35-year-old. If she's got a fucking tenureship at NYU, she is, yeah. Yeah, if she's not a lying, cheating, murdering thug, yeah. I'll go with the 50-year-old every day of the week.
Yes, okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So that's, is that Hebrew, the Ava?
Yeah.
Okay, that's father?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're entering into the final act of learning with General Ison. Yeah, what else can we teach you, General Ison, about, we can teach you how to spell Monroe without looking it up. We can tell you how to count 7 days back from a certain date of the month, that you got wrong in your interview with Jeff. The 18th of July was a Friday, meaning the 11th of July was a Friday, not a fucking Thursday, you punk.
I know that, like, abuela for Spanish is grandmother.
That's true.
Oh, everyone's favorite bit. Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish? No. Oh, I do. Yeah. I know how to say paella and más paella and muy bueno, señor, and necesito ayuda con platos, señor.
Bob has an iPad. What's his code? I'll ask as soon as I can. Ask, okay? Nice to meet you.
So that's, is that Hebrew, the Ava?
Yeah.
Okay, that's father?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that, like, abuela for Spanish is...
And I believe it's spelt the same as the Swedish pop band, disco band.
Right, Sarah?
I did.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, I probably should, but I don't.
I do.
Okay. The guy...
What's the language in Uganda? Lambado or something. What is it? She speaks Portuguese. Doubtful. Very doubtful. Spanish. Más paella, señor. And Lombardo, or whatever it is, the language in Uganda. Okay. Well, no one's going to be able to test you on that, are they? You'll just make it up.
Guy that you were seeing...
Hey, thanks so much, Mini RN38, for the fabulous super chat. What does Mini RN38 have to say? She says... I'm thinking that the Hitman was Wendy's planted idea. I'm thinking that the Hitman man was Wendy's planted idea. Let's put this on the screen, sorry. I'm thinking the Hitman was Wendy's planted idea. Beetlejuice need to get you a gift to celebrate the divorce. Do you need anything? Wendy, I need a Hitman hired. But since you can't do that, I need a TV for the boys. Well, we'll come back to that Mini RN. I think it might have been even simpler than that. I think it was just really, Well, we'll come back to it. Thank you for the super chat.
That Jeff got jealous of.
His name's Daniel.
Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel what?
Sack.
Sack?
S-A-C-K. He's moved. So he was, he and I actually went to college together, and I randomly found out that he was still in Tallahassee. But he was really eager to leave Tallahassee. He wanted to be in the Northeast. And so...
Law student?
No, he's teaching at the theater department. So we knew each other in college and then lost track for 12 years, and then he ended up getting hired by the theater department here.
But since left.
Since, yeah.
Sex theatre, knowing Daniel Sack, right? Knowing what we learnt about his polyamory and swinger parties, bisexual mass orgy festivals. Teaching at the theatre department. Well, there's lots of how should we say, liberated individuals in the theatre department.
In May, at the end of May, he moved to Amherst to start a job there.
Connecticut?
Massachusetts.
In May.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't expect Isom to know where an Ivy League school is. He got it in the Northeast. We'll give him that. At least he didn't say, and that's in Minnesota. It's in Duluth, right? Right on Lake Superior.
End of May, maybe early June, something like that.
Is Amherst a college?
Yeah, but he's at UMass Amherst.
Okay.
His stomach really hurts.
Do you need to eat?
No, I don't know what I'm going to eat for a long time.
Yeah, about a month.
Do you need
Good thing I
something?
had that
You got water.
Till we go to Uvia for a celebration dinner. And I'll just puke up whatever I eat at that dinner because I'm an alcoholic and I really took the celebrating to the next level, the highest level.
Lunch.
And you saw him briefly at the same time you were seeing Jeff?
In the fall, yeah. I had actually never dated two people at once before, but I wasn't exclusive with either one.
Right.
So I dated them both until until I realized like Daniel just was gonna leave, and I thought Jeff had potential. So.
But let's get back to this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this was this past Saturday that he got mad about.
When he got mad, it was June 28th. It was before I left for Miami with the boys.
Okay.
So, yeah, he got really mad.
Well, what sparked that?
That was what was really sort of surprising is Daniel had been gone. We'd had a month of like really, really great times, very happy month, and we went out to a nice dinner with friends and then got back to the hotel room, and I could just tell he was upset. And so for me, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Was that in Gainesville?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when Jeff wanted to look at your phone.
Okay, yeah, we are an hour in, so we've got to remind everybody that a fantastic way, like Riding Shotgun has just done here. Put it on the screen for us. Thank you, Riding. The best way to support True Crime Metrix channel and all that we do. You wouldn't believe how much we do. Yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, the best way to support the channel is on buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix. Link in the description or on the screen or in the comments. Also in the chat for in the description of the video is our social networks: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. Links to the merch store, merch.truecrimemetrics.com. Fantastic merch, great merch, which, you know, sorry, Cosmic Kitten, we know that your hoodie's taking a little while to arrive, but rest assured, it will arrive. And I'll definitely be able to get them to refund the delivery charge. They're real difficult with I was pushing them last year to credit anyone with a late delivery with a free, merch item. But they're really, really bastards, and I hate them. But I'll see what I can do. Anyway, that's a good way to plug our shop, isn't it? Yeah, go to merch.truecrimemetrics.com if you would like to receive a T-shirt within the next 2 years. No, but buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrics. Best way to support the channel, guys. Thank you so much. Leave a like on the video, like, share, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel for more Metrix Adelson content and other stuff. We've got some great stuff coming out tomorrow. That's what I've been working on today with our friends and colleagues in Los Angeles. Putting out some new content. There is at least one Adelson-related interview that has never been seen in the public domain. Have we got more than one? No, I think it's just one, but we do have a few other things that have been greatly improved. So that'll be coming out tomorrow without commentary, and we may do some commentary on it at a later stage. Thank you so much, guys. buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix.
Phone or something?
Yeah, did Jane tell you that?
Yeah.
So he had said that he wouldn't, it wasn't that time, but he had said, like if Jeff would be over and I was doing something, I would leave my phone out. I have this like old agenda book, I'd leave that out, and basically he said that he like saw that I had called Daniel, and he saw it in my
Yeah. We'll come back to that in a second. Jamcracker, thank you again for the super chat. Jamcracker says, why, in your opinion, did Wendy shove Charlie under the bus, run him over, then backed the bus up to really flatten him out? I mean, she was valedictorian and, oh, so smart. Well, I think that Wendy is more than happy to have Donna and Charlie go to jail for the rest of their lives. And that was part of her independent plan. Right? I've been through this before. Wendy blamed Danny for ending up in Tallahassee. But who did she blame that she was with Danny in the first place? Donna, who was convincing Wendy at a very young age, 24, 25, to go on to J-Date. She was going through the suitors available, the matchmaking Jewish dating app J-Date, and saying, look, here's a Harvard professor, educator at universities, very, you need a good Jewish boy, here's a successful one. It doesn't matter if you love him, it's all about what's on paper. The rest, if you're worried about him becoming into the Jewish faith, don't worry, because we'll take control of him like we can take control of everything. She pushed Wendy in this direction. Wendy resents her mother for being with Danny, resents Danny for getting her stuck in Tallahassee, can't get out of it, is now stuck because the court has said you can't move without your kids. I don't believe Wendy has one fucking slightest care in the world for her children in any normal sense of what a mother feels for her children. They are simply tools. And I think she would have been happy to leave her children and abandon them with Danny. Was it not for the social stigma that the Adelsons don't allow themselves to have of being an abandoning mother. On top of that, after the murder, Donna and Charlie continued to coerce Wendy, to collude with each other against Wendy, push her in directions that she didn't want. They're meddlers, right? They're total meddlers. And they treat Wendy as a puppet, the weakling, right? The one who needs guidance. She's like, you think I need guidance? You meddling fucks, I'll show you who needs guidance, yeah? You think I'm the weakling of the pack? Look at you now. Jail forever. Fuck you. And by the way, I'm taking all of your money. Wendy felt that Donna owed her to get this job done, to put right what she fucked up for Wendy. And Wendy's perspective to Donna is, listen, if you fuck it up, if you leave yourself open and get caught and end up doing jail forever because of what you needed to do to put it right, to correct the problem that you put me in, right? That's your fucking fault. And I'm out. Yeah. And also, it gives Wendy this clever little game, if she were involved as a co-conspirator, why would she go in and name her fellow conspirator already? Well, they're not really co-conspirators, right? There's two conspiracies going on. There's the Adelson conspiracy, including Wendy, Charlie, Donna, Harvey. That's one conspiracy. And then a side conspiracy that's just belonging to Wendy, right? She's in both. but mostly in her own. And in her own, it doesn't fucking matter if Charlie and Donna go down. In fact, that just makes the whole thing a little bit sweeter. And if it further has value to protect Wendy by this little red herring, breadcrumb, whatever the fuck, oh, she pointed Charlie out so she couldn't have been involved. Because what co-conspirator would go into a police interview and indicate that her co-conspirator could have done it? It's all very fucked up and clever. And if anyone thinks that's a reach and that I'm overthinking it, I could put it more succinctly than that. And I truly believe what I just said, but that might have been a little bit all over the place.
Stack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, that's why I said understanding.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Molly, for the super chat. Molly Cactus. Thank you, Molly.
Understanding.
Gotcha.
So it had really upset me that he had gone through my phone and that he had, I mean, I was just, the whole time I was just kind of crying. I was just really sad. I felt like we had a great relationship, and his behavior made me think that I couldn't really be with someone like that. And I didn't really say much other than I was just really like, no, I didn't cheat on you. Like, yes, I saw Daniel in the fall. Like, no, I haven't seen him more than as a friend since February. And like, if you don't trust me, we can't really do this. So, and then he was, really sad and apologetic and was like, oh my God, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I'm going to lose you. And I never really thought I would be in a police station talking about my relationship.
Well,
I understand that it's potentially relevant.
So, this was on the 28th of June in Gainesville.
Yeah, so we drove back that Sunday morning, and I cried the whole way. We drove back to the house, and I told them, like, my parents don't believe that I can drive the boys down to South Florida by myself, so they like to drive up and help me drive down with them. So my folks were coming up that Sunday. So Jeff left, I had a couple of hours, my parents came up, and then Monday morning I went and picked up the kids, and that was the weekend that Amy was visiting, Danny's girlfriend. Okay. So that was my first time meeting Amy, so I went to our former house, and I was really, anxious to meet Amy and kind of sad about 6:20. Sad about the whole thing, and so my dad was like, well, I'll stand with you. So my dad stood next to me on the doorbell, and Amy was perfectly lovely, and I picked up the kids, and they seemed really happy, and got in the car and said goodbye.
Okay. That was Monday.
Yeah.
And
then I was in Coral Springs or Miami with my folks, and my brother and my other brother came down. It was my dad's 70th birthday on July 5th, so we had a party for him, and I had Skype contact with Danny and the boys. And so after we left the next day, he flew up to New York and was in New York that whole time.
Who?
Danny.
Okay.
So Amy went back, and the next day Danny went back to join her, and so he was in New York the whole time I was in. He flew back July 11th.
Okay.
In time to pick up the boys on that Friday afternoon.
Okay. Let's get back to Jeff after you come back to Tallahassee, and I can't remember which day you
So I had lost my voice.
Right.
So I got back to Tallahassee. My parents came with us, and then Saturday morning I took my folks to get the rental car. They left, and I had a cold, and I wasn't feeling well, so I kind of just was in my house all day Saturday. Sunday, Jeff and I made plans to go see. So Sunday the 11, 12.
Look at your phone.
Yes.
Had to slow that down, didn't you, Wendy? Slow it down. Just make sure you get all the points in order. I guess she's got a good memory, right? Pretty good. Pretty good detail orientated. All that stuff that Jeff Lacasse said about her being, she's a completely disorganized person. Cancels stuff all the time, forgets things. I don't think so. I think that's so that you think she's clumsy, but really she's very detail orientated.
Sunday the 13th.
You hadn't seen him since you drove back on the 29th.
That's right. So, July 13th, I saw him, we went to a movie and then got some dinner and we're talking.
Hey, thanks to someone who sent us 5 cups of coffee on buymeacoffee.com, but I can't see your name, so whoever that was, if you're out there, thank you.
And it was confusing because I missed him and it was nice to be with him, but I also felt kind of like uncertain given his behavior in Gainesville. I have kids. I feel really protective of, if someone...
And that'll be the 13th?
The 13th is when I went out with him.
Okay. That's a Monday?
No, it was a Sunday. And then the 14th was the night I went to yoga, and he came and seemed to want to, go out a lot the rest of the week, and I just knew I needed some headspace to figure out what to do.
Okay, the 13th you went out with Jeff, went to a movie. The 14th you went to yoga. Mm-hmm. He went to yoga.
Yeah.
But no discussion. Oh, no, you email him later.
And say just I'd like a week off. And I'm sure, I don't know, you can find it in my phone. It'll be in my email track of what I sent.
And basically to Jeff saying, I want some time.
He
doesn't respond, but he brings up gifts on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
But you'd had no contact since the yoga on Monday night.
None.
Okay. Nothing, no contact at all since?
No text, no email. I told him, I said no text, no email, no nothing.
Is Jeff a violent person?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Jeff own a gun?
I don't think so. My guess would be 100% no, but I guess I was only in his house one time. He certainly could have a gun and I wouldn't know about it, but he never...
Lives by himself?
Lives by himself. He'd never talked to me about a gun.
Okay.
He was in the military, so...
Oh, he was in the military before?
Yeah, he grew up in California. His dad was in the Air Force, and then he was in the Air Force and ended up in Eglin Air Force Base, and he started going to community college and took classes and was really bright and ended up doing a PhD here at FSU and then taught in Arizona and then just got rehired here. Not rehired, but hired. And that's how Jane knows him, is she's doing a PhD in social work and Jeff is a professor in social work.
Okay. All right. I want to get a picture just to confirm I'm not talking about the right person.
I probably have one on my phone.
Sure.
And you can find him on FSU, right?
How long has he been back at FSU?
Since August.
And you all met through Jane?
Yeah. No, I just have pictures of my kids.
Who thought of him first?
This is from my dad's 70th birthday. That's my mom and dad and my boys and me.
Wow.
And they're super cute.
Very nice.
He's a young 70s. Yeah, the boys have blue eyes. Danny has blue eyes too. He just loves them.
I'll go see if I can get a...
I wanted to call my parents.
Yeah.
Should I wait?
Just for a couple minutes more, I'm just going to get a picture so I know that I'm talking about the right person.
Okay.
It'll come from a database.
Okay. I can listen to messages. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have to sit in here and pretend that I'm interested to talk to you, do I, Sarah? I can listen to my messages and do my... Listen, I have to speak to someone on the General Council at FSU, okay? I'm speaking to the president of the university committee and we're making dinner plans.
It's very strange. Well, not strange. It's
unfortunately, you're probably going to be inundated.
So Tracy Cohen was like this woman that I was really, really good friends with, and she and her
Really,
husband live on
really?
Trescott down the street. They've got 2 little girls, and she was one person. She's the one person that it just really hurt my feelings. That after the divorce, I felt like she kind of took Danny's side. I think I'd be calling from Park City, Utah.
We're working on the Cohens, guys. The Cohens are coming. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like, share, leave a comment.
Oh, I've got a message from them. Anyway, so she's calling because she's like, she heard that she's on Trescott. She said, oh, you heard it, I guess. She said the shooting was, she heard that it was Danny, and she called the hospital, and they won't give her any information, and so she wanted to find out. But I wonder, like, Tracy's husband, Jeremy, is a friend of Danny's. I probably should tell them that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, there's just a lot of people, and because I don't know, it makes it difficult sometimes.
Tracy's husband, Jeremy.
Okay, and Tracy's the person that you were just telling me about,
Yeah,
correct?
that I just felt
it was
sad.
kind of felt a little bit hurt when...
Her husband, Jeremy, is friendly with Danny. She lives on Trescott, and I'm just thinking Jeremy might be a good person to know about what's going on. I don't know if there's a good person to know. Like, I just...
What I would say, because we're still trying to work on getting his parents notified.
So do that
just
first.
kind of... And what I'll do is, if you leave there before I have confirmations, before I get to talk to his parents, I got your number. I'll call you as soon as, they know. And obviously, it's unfortunate, like, things like this do get around. And it's sometimes for your benefit, too, because you're going to start getting inundated. Right. And sometimes my suggestion is, if you're comfortable with it, like, have someone else man your phone or something like that,
I want to see this. I now have 2 messages from the Utah. Can't hear it. I can only hear, like, barely any. Oh, God. He's the academic dean at the law school, and he's saying it's an emergency. I'm guessing it's an emergency because he wants to know what's going on with Danny's. It's not an emergency.
You don't need to talk really to anybody but who you want,
Yeah. Let me just listen to these puppies. Lynn called not knowing anything at 4:47 just to chat.
And that might have been before they got in touch with her.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, like, at a little before 5, she was just calling to shoot the shit.
Is this Renee, guys? I just got distracted by something. Is this Renee that she's on the phone with?
Do you hear it?
I can kind of hear.
She said the shooting was, she heard that it was Danny, and she called the hospital, and they won't give her any information, and so she wanted to find out. But I wonder, like, Tracy's husband, Jeremy, is a friend of Danny's. I probably should tell them that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, there's just a lot of people, because I don't know, it makes it difficult sometimes.
Tracy's husband, Jeremy.
Okay, and Tracy's the person that you were just telling me about,
Yeah,
correct?
I just felt
it was
sad.
kind of felt a little bit hurt when...
Her husband, Jeremy, is friendly with Danny. She lives on Trescott, and I'm just thinking Jeremy might be a good person to know about what's going on. I don't know if there's a good person to know. Like,
What I would say, because we're still trying to work on getting his parents notified.
So do that
just
first.
kind of, and what I'll do is, if you leave there before I have confirmations, before I get to talk to his parents, I got your number. I'll call you as soon as they know. And obviously, it's unfortunate. Like things like this do get around, and it's sometimes for your benefit too, because you're going to start getting inundated, right? And sometimes my suggestion is if you're comfortable with it, like have someone else man your phone or something like that.
I want to see who this. I now have 2 messages from the Utah. Can't hear it. I can only hear like barely any. Oh God. He's the academic dean at the law school, and he's saying it's an emergency. I'm guessing it's an emergency because he wants to know what's going on with Danny's. It's not an emergency.
You don't need to talk really to anybody but who you want,
Yeah. Let me just listen to these puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn called not knowing anything at 4:47 just to chat.
And that might have been before they got in touch with her.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like at a little before 5, she was just calling to shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear it?
I can kind of hear.
That's really. She was saying that was my friend that was at the lunch.
Mm-hmm.
She said I have a feeling who's behind all of this. She meant like she thought it was Danny's fault that I was there.
Excuse me.
Hi.
Hey, his parents, do either one of them have any medical issues?
Oh God, they're gonna get called right now. Huh?
We've been working on it. We're trying to get the law enforcement to go. But
His mom is a large woman and has some ongoing health issues.
Okay.
I think they're both actually. I mean, they're turning 70 this
Sure.
year. So,
okay.
Oh my God, I can't.
Do you don't have a number for his sister, do you?
Let me see. I might actually. I've recently went through my phone and deleted stuff I wasn't
Right.
using, but let me see if I have Shelley. I don't have Shelley.
And it's Shelley Markel?
Markel.
Markel. Is it SHELL?
Y. Just Y. I think I have Phil.
Okay.
I do. I have Phil's.
Okay. Because we tried Ruth's number and she didn't answer.
So a lot of times they have a place up north
Okay.
that they go to on the weekends. I don't have that number,
Okay.
but Phil might answer
Okay.
his cell phone. So here's
877?
it's he does a lot of business, and so
Okay.
I think it's a toll-free number.
Okay.
Well, let me see if I have Ruth's.
Okay.
If I have the country house number. You guys are calling now, huh? Has there been any update from the hospital?
I haven't spoken with them.
If people wanted to
I did
know,
speak
or-
with ICU. I spoke with the
too.
nurse.
Is that the number you have for Ruth's house?
No.
His parents parents are recently divorced.
Okay.
I think she's at that number.
Okay. All right. Obviously, it's something we try to avoid as far as we like to have someone make contact in person, but we're just not having any luck right now because we don't have an address. We have business, because I was able to Google stuff and see the business
Yeah,
stuff.
but they're not going to be there.
Right, so this is what we're going to try and do.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not ideal generally. We like to try to get someone there for someone, but sometimes time isn't necessarily always on our side.
Because they want someone.
Well, they need to tell someone because eventually he's going to need someone to make those decisions and stuff.
Okay. It looks bizarre to get these messages of about book club and
How life kind of sometimes just keeps moving.
recommending students for jobs and sort of waiting. Oh my god.
Book club, book club, book club, book club alarm. We need a book club alarm. I was at book club. Yeah, we started at church and then we went on to book club. And then in the afternoon we volunteered at a local soup kitchen where we gave nutrition to the poor. Oh. Yeah, what did Jeff say in his video? In the unredacted version? He said, Yeah. I said to her, I thought you said you were at book club. And Wendy turned around and said, Oh, no, I was really drunk that night. I had a really good time that night. And Isom's like, She's rubbing this in your face! Oh, yeah. Book club.
I can't help but feeling like this is all my fault.
Why do you feel that way?
Why would somebody do this, right? If I had been still married to him, then there wouldn't be anyone that was angry, right? There wouldn't be any kind of disgruntled, wouldn't be Amy's husband. This can't be a random act of violence. This has to be on purpose. Someone did this for a reason.
But this is why I tell everybody, you don't cause people's actions. You can control your actions. You can't control anyone else's. And I know it's hard. And
Wendy is so unimpressed by that, right? I mean, that's almost the first thing Sarah has said in 30 minutes. This is what I always tell people in trauma when I work with trauma victims. I tell them, I say, you can control your actions, but you can't control the actions of others. And Wendi Adelson's like, want to bet? What do you think I'm doing to you right now? I'm controlling your actions, just like I controlled Jeff's actions, just like I controlled Jane's actions, just like I controlled General Isom's decision-making process, just like I controlled my mother and brother, and the judge, and the prosecutor. And, this is what I always tell people. I say, you can control your actions, but you can't control the actions of others. Lady, you don't know who you're dealing with. She's the devil. Just look at the posture. What do I get from Sarah's posture? I get approval seeking. Why? Because she foolishly painted Wendi Adelson as a rock star, saying, I saw you on stage giving a lecture at the Red Cross, whatever it was. That was a bad move. Don't call her Colonel Russell Williams. Fucking hell. They've called the Markels in Toronto. They should have said, listen, on your way down, stop off at the OPP, Behavioral Sciences Investigation Forensic Unit, pick up Detective Sergeant Jim Smith, bring him with you. Bring him with you. We need him. Tallahassee Police Department needs Detective Sergeant Jim Smith of the OPP. Ruth and Phil could have driven right by. Just said, listen, Jim, we've got you a plane ticket. Pack a bag. You're coming. Wouldn't that be great? Jim Smith walks in. Oh, you betcha. You betcha. I'm a big coffee drinker. I'm a big coffee drinker. Are you a coffee guy? Are you a coffee girl? I tell you who's a coffee guy. Me. If anyone wants to support the channel, buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix. The best place to support the channel is buymeacoffee.com.
You know, as you and I kind of talk throughout this process, you know, when time comes, I'll make recommendations for things that might be good for you and for the boys. But right now, let's just kind of deal with tonight.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
Let me, I want to send some text sort of canceling my plans. Like, actually at 6:30, I was supposed to be at a party by now, so let me tell Linda. God, the person throwing it works at Beavis Funeral Home.
Okay.
My friend Elizabeth is a mortician. She's the prettiest mortician I've ever met. What did we say I should tell people?
Just say,
Can't make it tonight.
Yeah, just say, I'm very sorry, I can't make it
What did
tonight.
she just say?
I'll be in contact soon.
Is that going on the merch quote list? You see, that's what I mean. 50 times minimum I've watched this interview and I've never heard the sentence, she's the most, what was it? She's the prettiest mortician I've ever met. She's the most beautiful mortician that I've ever seen. See it again.
Let me, I want to send some text sort of canceling my plans. Like, I'm actually...
Yeah, I'm going to be busy now, girl. Maybe you could go and get me something, girl. I tell you what, girl, I'll have a Long Island iced tea, all the clear liquors, topped up in a tall glass with Coca-Cola. Not zero, the real thing.
At 6:30, I was supposed to be at a party by now, so let me tell Linda. God, the person throwing it works at Beavis Funeral Home.
Okay.
My friend Elizabeth is a mortician. She's the prettiest mortician I've ever met.
The person throwing it is Elizabeth. But that's not the bride. Because the bride's name is... Let's go to the invitation. Let's bring up the invitation again, guys. We did show it the other day. But, as it's being mentioned here, it does start at 6:30. Let's add an image. We'll add an image. 10 images. Fuck it. Okay, we go... Oh, look at this. This is so much better. We've been organising the files today, guys. If you could see this. I'm so pleased. Now I can do everything easy. Okay, where is it? This is the first time I'm using this. It's all organised by title and case number. Oh, look how easy that was. Oh, thank you, Metrix. The things you do, Metrix. Lauren. So I guess someone's throwing it for them, right? I mean, I guess that could happen. Is that what usually happens? Has anyone, let us know in the comments, guys, if you've ever been to a Stock the Bar couple's shower. Anyone? How many people have we got in chat? 142. Okay. Has anybody ever been to a Stock the Bar couple's shower? You're invited, so please come over to a Stock the Bar couple's shower for Lauren and Jamie, Friday, July 18th, 6:30 to 8:30. Backyard gathering with something. And of course, there it is. help the bride and groom stock the bar for their wedding by bringing a bottle of Bulleit bourbon or your favorite wine or spirit. Who drinks bourbon at a wedding? I mean, it is the South. I mean, but it's not a fucking Kentucky wedding. Kentucky, they'd have a bourbon at a birthday for an 8-year-old. Okay, let's just have a look in comments. I lost it when she called in that. About yourself and mention your own name. Prize fighter of verbosity was epic. Georgia was epic. Georgia does Wendy think Georgia is the prettiest prosecutor? I do. Never have I ever been to a stock the bar couple shower. Okay, Camley. Me neither. Debbie Martin, I heard the lady died. I heard Lauren died. But that's not a checked fact. So forgive me if it's incorrect, but that's what I did hear. Oh, this should be good. What's Ian saying? Ian's saying, does anyone recognise any templates or layout for this BS invitation? Good question. Good question. I mean, I quite like the layout. In a way, ish. Just a standard fucking... They found it on Pinterest, you know? They found it on Pinterest. I wonder if we could do a reverse Google image search. Harley D, welcome back, Harley. So did the party host change each invitation to request a different liquor? Otherwise, they'd have 20 bottles of Bulleit bourbon. Yeah, exactly, right? And just the whole thing. I said this the other day. Okay, you're gonna... I mean, your question as to... So did the party host change each invitation to request a different liquor? All right. So in one way, the fact that the Bulleit bourbon is featured on a separate tag supports the idea that it changed per... Because you would go to the printers, right, the copy shop, and say, I want, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 copies of this invitation. And you just get that done as a batch process, one job, you know, and then add the little card tag for each request. But then I would assume it would be just written on, right? But the tag also supports the fact that it's fake and has been added after the fact by the conspirators. And my big issue with it is the fact that the invitation has been produced by the Adelson family to support the idea that the Bulleit bourbon, the decision to buy the brand of Bulleit bourbon, did not come from them, indicates that they seek to prove that notion, that the Bulleit bourbon was not selected by them as some sort of sick in-joke, and it was just a coincidence that Dan got a bullet in his head at the same time Wendy was purchasing this Bulleit bourbon, right? But if you want to prove that, you surely can. You go and contact Lauren and Jamie, and you bring them to someone to be interviewed. And that person who's interviewing them, ask them, did you ask Wendy to bring Bulleit bourbon? I have never heard of that happening. I don't know why it hasn't happened. You know, it's a strange thing. I do not believe the veracity of this invitation whatsoever. I think it's faked. I think the fact that we've had mention of Harvey Adelson working with Photoshop, making his own daughter enhance her breasts and make her look more hot, you know, that's just a strange premise for me to accept. But, you know, we know that he's somewhat savvy with photo imaging, graphic editing software, right? So he could have quite easily produced that whole invitation himself. Ian says, yeah, the point I'm making about templates, it's too perfect. Well, anything Adelson is, right? Anything Adelson is.
What did we say I should tell people?
Just say,
can't make it tonight.
Yeah, just like, I'm very sorry, I can't make it tonight. I'll be in contact soon. So they're doing a Stop the Bar party.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that. Is that a thing?
I think it's newer for newer people getting married and don't have as much money to spend on weddings, so you do a Stop.
Newer? She kind of retracted the word younger.
The bar party, so at least you get all your liquor and... Or maybe just stock a bar at your house, I don't know. But that was my interpretation when I've heard of the Stop the Bar
I'll
parties.
be drinking that bourbon for dinner.
Do you like bourbon?
No.
I'll be drinking that bourbon for dinner. Interesting. She drank her dinner most nights, right? Where's our resident linguistics expert, Mrs. D from New Mexico, Albuquerque? Oh no, Santa Fe. Santa Fe, I think she's up in Santa Fe. We saw a similar thing with Charlie, didn't we? Rough up. Sigfredo roughed her up. He tore off a necklace that he had given her, tore it off her neck and roughed her up. She was in tears. It was horrible. Do you know anyone that can rough someone up? You know, these little phrases that travel around. You know, there's one over here, there's another one over there. And they connect, don't they? They connect. And this is one of the things that's just so great about this case, is there's such a wealth of material, video evidence, audio evidence, that we hear certain things. What's the other one? It's on the bump. What is this in reference to? Sammy asks Charlie on the phone. But that comes after the FBI have already heard Charlie say, I have no idea what this is in reference to. I just love that they used his own vernacular back at him. You know, and then he's on the phone with Katie saying, yeah, he said, what is this in reference to? And Katie's like, what is this in reference to? Those are some educated words. Those are wobbling words. I love how these little things. I'll be drinking that bourbon for dinner. She drank her dinner most nights.
I don't know much about bourbon.
I don't know anything about bourbon. I asked her okay, so that was tonight's plan. And then tomorrow...
Yeah, steered away from that one. So I asked no, I don't need to say anything. And that would just extend my, commitment on record about this story. She went down there and then acted like she was distracted by her phone. But really what happened was that she decided not to further the commitment of this story, right? You see that?
Thing?
I think it's newer for newer people getting married and don't have as much money to spend on weddings, so you do a stock to bar party, so at least you get all your liquor and... Or maybe just stock a bar at your house, I don't know. That was my interpretation, but I've heard of the stock to bar
I'll
parties.
be drinking bourbon for dinner.
Do you like bourbon?
No.
I don't know much about bourbon.
I don't know anything about bourbon. I asked her okay, so that was tonight's plan. And then tomorrow, should I be
Don't worry about tomorrow. Just go ahead and do your tonight since you were supposed to be there at, basically now.
And I just feel like I shouldn't be going...
Missed it. Sorry, I was writing something down because I have a pen and a notebook and a table. It's so great. What did I write down? Prettiest mortician, Elizabeth. Witness list? Question mark. Ah, it's so great. Yeah. Thank you, Debbie Martin. We'll look that up. See if we can find a picture of this pretty mortician that we can show on our next live.
Tomorrow, should I...
much about bourbon.
I don't know anything about bourbon. I asked her okay, so that was tonight's plan.
I don't know anything about bourbon, so I asked for the... Okay, so that was tonight's plan.
And then tomorrow, should I be...
Don't worry about tomorrow. Just go ahead and do your tonight since you were supposed to be there at, basically now.
And I just feel like I shouldn't be going about my life as if it were normal. Like the kid... I don't know how to do
Well,
that.
and then, you know what? You're going to be able to call your parents soon, and then I think once your parents get here, they'll kind of be able to help guide you on what's best.
Yeah.
So don't worry about canceling tomorrow's plan. You have a bunch of time to do that in between, and this is, the most important thing, and keeping yourself the least amount of stress.
Come on now.
Sane, unstressed, whatever word you want to use.
So Robin kept telling me I had to call Jimmy. Should I call?
Who's Jimmy?
Jimmy is my divorce attorney. So
and Robin's your friend.
Robin's a good friend.
Okay. Was Robin the one that you were at lunch with?
No.
Okay. I would just, again, I don't think that
might
might
send
be...
an email to Jimmy Judkins and just ask if I heard there was an urgent matter. Do you need something?
If that would make you feel better, that's fine. Were you guys going through any new thing with your divorce? Or?
I have a meeting that was coming up. So basically what happened is when we got divorced last summer, the settlement agreement was that Danny really wanted to stay in the house. Mm-hmm. So the agreement was that he would stay in the house and he would pay me my half of the house. And he had until mid-October to do it, and he just didn't do it. And so I asked him, where's the money?
Right.
What happened? And he said, I have compelling reasons and I'm not paying it. And I said, well, what are the reasons? And he said, I'm not telling you. So I rehired my attorney, and we filed a motion in court. It just keeps going on and on. But anyway, it's taking forever. You're a victim advocate. It's taking forever to get through court. It's teaching me to have a lot more patience as an attorney. But we have a meeting coming up soon. It was supposed to be the 24th, and then Jimmy just moved it to the 30th or the 31st. So that's why I feel what's the urgency if it's not about this? What would he need to talk about?
When did he start sending those emails?
I actually
voicemail or
I got one from Robin at 5 and one at 6, and that's unusual. And she's not
and I don't know what's Rob, but she might have inklings of what's going on, and she might be you need a contact. But again, you're not being looked at as a suspect. They're just clearing.
Well, I'm trying to help.
And you have been, and I think you and Investigator Isom have been able to communicate well with each other and everything.
Well, I'm trying to help. A little bit of attitude there, Wendy, huh? A little bit of attitude.
Have inklings of what's going on, and she might be you need a contact. But again, you're not being looked at as a suspect. They're just clearing.
Well, I'm trying to help.
And you have been, and I think you and Investigator Isom have been able to communicate well with each other and everything.
Okay, so this...
Thank you, Radin, for that fabulous super chat. Thank you, Radin.
Jimmy sent an email to me. So when we had our hearing with the judge about whether Danny needed to pay me, the judge was like, "You need to pay her the money. Like, we're going to hold you in contempt of court."
Which judge is it now? I know they just changed all the judges.
Hold you in contempt. What does that mean, to be held in contempt? Could you be jailed? Well, I don't know, really. I don't know. My knowledge of criminal law dates back to 2004 when I took a semester. It's not my area of practice.
They do. So it was Judge Hobbs.
Before?
Mm-hmm. So like Judge Hobbs at that hearing, and she was like, "I'm going to put you in jail. Like, pay her the money."
Right.
And he was like, "Well, Your Honor, I have, I'm going to file a motion for full custody of the kids, and I'm going to file a motion for." He never did that, but like a motion for sanctions against Wendy's attorney, who's Kristen Adelson. I don't know if you. So Kristen was my attorney, and so because he filed sanctions against my attorney, Kristen was like, "I can't represent you anymore. I need to represent myself. Like, I need to be a witness in your case because he's impugning my professional reputation." So Kristen hooked me up with Jimmy to be my attorney instead. And so now Jimmy's my attorney. And so we're trying to now I've got Jimmy writing to me and Kristen and trying to work this all out. But they wrote this at 344. Clearly they had no idea because all it says is basically we have a new judge and I think this is good news and here's some stuff we have to do on our case.
Okay. Yeah. And
I'm
again,
gonna skip it.
I don't think you
urgent.
really need to be stressed. I mean,
yeah. Okay.
And I think when time comes, I think anyone that's been trying to reach you about anything will understand completely and entirely why.
What's going on?
Yes.
God, one of the other, there's a young faculty member at the law school, this guy Mark, who had a heart attack. Mark is 33 or 34. I did yoga with him. He's super fit, healthy. He just had a congenital heart defect. So, he's fine. He's actually alive. He made it. He's okay. But, the whole law school is oh my God, what happened? And now that's why Manuel's called twice. And it says it's from Park City. That's where his wife is from. So
Neverly, did you see an Elizabeth, the pretty mortician?
Either he never changed his cell phone. That's possible. He either never changed. I've never talked to him.
Jibs and Jabs. Welcome back, Jibs and Jabs.
And he's the dean of the law school?
He's not. So there's the dean in charge of everything, and then there's the academic dean.
Okay.
Because the law.
Ryan Meach. Was the microphone on mute when I said hello, Jibs and Jabs? Hello, Jibs and Jabs. And Neverly Darling looked up brushed over the witness and potential witness list and didn't see a Jamie or a James, except for James Geiger. Did you see Elizabeth, the pretty mortician, the prettiest mortician that ever morticianed anything dead that ever there was? And also thank you, Ryan Meach, for the super chat. Ryan says she stresses talking to the liquor store guy about bourbon, even though she was told exactly what to buy. Alibi and shameless flirt all in one. Yeah. And then what she actually bought was bourbon rye. Bullet rye, sorry. We've got a picture of that. Let's pull it up. We need to rotate it. Hang on. And Harley, this is one for you, man. Should I say it now or wait until we do our full video? We've been looking into the concept that the liquor was purchased on a charge card that was associated with a shared account between the Adelson family that Donna also had access to and received cellular notifications for. Okay? And I would like to know if the card that Wendy used, say it was Capital One or American Express or whatever it would be. Hang on, let me get this picture up here first, and then we'll discuss it. So we go to desktop. And we... Yep. Okay. He's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Yeah, so say it's capital 1. You see, we've got the receipt for the bullet rye here, but Wendy's account number, which is that little black square, has been redacted. And I want to find out, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to find out, but wouldn't it be great if we could show, for real, that the account that Wendy used the charge card for was an account that was associated with additional account holders that would have received notifications on their cellular device through online banking applications. And, you know, that the purchase of the bullet, rye, bourbon, whatever, after Wendy had driven down Trescott and seen the police caution tape and the crime scene cornered off, so knew something had gone down, and then signalled to main base by the purchase of this receipt that Donna was also an account holder on the card that she used. That's, you know, successful mission. Because there couldn't be any more calls. No more calls. How did the Adelsons communicate before the hit? Well, the TV. The TV was not an alibi. Because if it were an alibi, it would have been a pretty fucking poor alibi. The guy's going to be there for 20 to 30 minutes at some random time between the hours of 8 o'clock in the morning and midday, when we don't know when the hit would be taking place, but it did end up happening around 11 o'clock, right? So it wasn't an alibi at all. It wasn't to have a witness that say, hey, Wendy wasn't at the scene. What it was for, the TV, was to enable Wendy to have a reason to be calling her mother, who set up the appointment, to be calling her brother, who purchased the TV, apparently. I mean, I don't believe that this story about Charlie saying, oh, what does Wendy need? Oh, she needs a TV? Okay, when you're up in Tallahassee, go to Best Buy, pick out a TV, and I'll give you the money. Why would that need to happen at all? Are you telling me that Wendy took half the dining chairs from the Markel residence, but didn't take a single TV? I'm surprised she didn't saw all of the TVs in half with a fucking chainsaw. I'm taking half. Half is mine. You know? Well, Wendy, now that you've cut the TV in half with a chainsaw, neither of them are usable. It doesn't matter. Half is mine. It wasn't an alibi. This whole TV divorce present is an invention. How are we going to communicate on the day of the murder? Because we can't have the police looking at our phone records and seeing an unusual cluster of calls without a reason. Right? What is that reason? Well, we're going to set up an appointment. Why is Donna involved in the appointment? Well, she made the purchase and put her own name on the warranty notification, whatever, you know what I mean? We sign up for the Geek Squad package or whatever it is. Donna just put her name. She's the contact. She had to set up the appointment, put the TV. So I've got to be calling my mother. That excuses the calls with my mother. Charlie purchased the TV and maybe is like tech savvy or whatever. So when Wendy was deciding whether to have it to be fixed or get a new one, again, that excuses away any calls that might have happened pre-murder between Charlie and Wendy and Donna and Wendy, right? Now, after the TV That's dealt with. The guy's gone back to Best Buy. No more calls about TV. How do we communicate? How do we communicate post-murder? Because if there's a single phone call post-murder, that looks suspicious, right? That looks like you're letting them know that something went down. So how do we communicate? Well, why don't you take one of our shared account charge cards and go and make a purchase for any product with the word bullet in it, okay? And if you do make that purchase, we'll get a notification like we always do with your grocery shopping. And that won't be irregular at all, because that's just how our accounts have been set up for years. But because we've spoken about this before, we'll know if we see a purchase from ABC Liquors for a bottle of Bullet Bourbon, don't even need to have those many details, that's how you will let us know it was a successful mission. Now, it was Harley D, through his video, that he finally managed to share with me. It's been a few weeks now he's been trying to get it to me, but I finally saw it when he came to Discord and posted it on there. If anyone wants to see that, I'll put a link in the description at some later time, or contact Harley on Discord. He's on Discord. Everyone come to Discord, join the conversation. We're sharing stuff all the time. It's free, it's fun, it's interesting. It's we've got chat going on all the time. There's a link in the description. I didn't know what Discord was, but I do now, and it's great. It's great. True Crime Metrix Discord, link in the description. Yeah, there's a few other things that we found, Harley, to support this idea, because I was so against this idea, how it was introduced to me originally by a former viewer. But that was just the way it was put. And because I'm not used to having shared account or notifications set up, my mind just didn't go there. The way it was put to me is that Donna would have had to log in to Wendy's online banking on a laptop in Miami. And I just thought that was way too much of a digital footprint, and it made it a complete non-starter for me. But this thing about having a charge card set up that habitually prior to the murder, this hasn't just been set up for the murder. This was just how it was running, and they took advantage of that. They said, I know, what about the charge card? Because we always get notifications when you make a purchase. I mean, if you look at it through that lens, it seems really obvious, right? It seems really obvious. And what does it mean? It means get the money ready. Get the money ready. The hit's done. Now, what would the alternative have been? The communication needed to go back to Donna. Because it wasn't a sure thing that Wendy was even going to be picked up by the police. Say, for example, the situation went down. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about this so much and do a full breakdown video, but just briefly, say, for example, the hit went down, but Sigfredo and Luis were caught immediately. A cop just happened to be driving by. They tripped over their own bag of cocaine and fell into the path of the cop car, covered in blood. I mean, that could have quite easily happened, right? Or Sigfredo's driving and accidentally blows a hole in his own foot. We don't know with those guys, right? Anything could have happened. So, in the situation where Sigfredo and Luis were caught, Wendy might not have been even brought in. And other variants could have happened, right? So there needed to be something, because Katie's going to be wanting that money. And they need confirmation, because possibly, probably, maybe it's true that Charlie got paid 50 grand up front the year before and got ripped off. The guy just left with the money. What are you going to do? Call the cops and say, hey, I paid someone 50 grand to do a murder for me, and they robbed it. You know. So yeah. I've really come around to the idea, but it's all thanks to Harley D and the fantastic Judy from AA Legal Focus. I'll put a link to the description. I'll put a link to that video in the description at some later stage. Come back tomorrow and I'll update it. Yeah, interesting. We'll do a video on that soon, Harley. Where has it gone? Here.
The hospital's pretty much separate. I mean, it is part of the university, but it like has its own academic deans and all those type of.
Did you go to FSU?
I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do the one book, one campus thing when you were there? Did they pick up books? Did you go under?
Did you read my shit book? We're trying, Wendy. Every time I pick it up, I want to cry. In pain.
Or master's? Or...
Both.
Yeah. Were you in social work?
I was. Mm-hmm. I graduated fall of, how long ago was it already? I think 2011.
It's Jeff's phone number.
I have this work number and a cell phone. The work number would be the
Who is that?
the Bainbridge, Georgia. I bet you that's the Greenbergs and Cairo that I was saying, Alex and Maya. Do you think we should talk to them?
Not right now. 294.
So that's his, the 294 would be his cell. The other number would be his office number.
Okay. All the news is already on. People seem to. Well, they just know. I don't know what they
put out. Shooting on Trescott,
yeah,
I think.
that's basically what's going to happen.
Okay. My kids are not going to see the news, so I'm not worried about that. I guess you're just telling the story.
No, I'm saying that's probably why these people are trying to get a hold of it now.
Yeah.
Kids aren't going to see the news. They're too busy looking at their Rolex watches, wondering where I am at this time. You know, at 2 and 3 years old.
I need to go back. I need a timeline here.
Mm-hmm.
What time?
Why are you even bothering with this, Isom? I mean, what do you need a timeline for? The sandwich shop opening hours? Yeah, I need a timeline because I'm going to have to get from the pudding place on Monroe definitely closes at 5. So I've missed that completely. Now, I believe that there's a Subway still open just before we hit the Thomasville. But we need to check the timeline and the opening hours of the sub shop.
When did you wake up this morning?
A little before 8. I know that because the repairman was supposed to be here between 8 and 12, and I didn't set an alarm. So I woke up like, oh God, I have to put some clothes on and get ready.
Okay.
Do you think she was getting ready listening to Will Smith's Miami? We're going to Miami. Welcome to Miami.
8 o'clock.
He called, or like my mom called. I could see what time the calls came in, but let's see, starting this morning. Yeah, my mom called at 8:09. And then the repair guy called at 8:08, and then my mom called at 8:09. I guess he called her to trying to Sorry. So then the repair guy called, and I don't remember exactly what time he got there, but like between 8 and 9, probably closer to 9.
Okay, what time did he leave?
Around 10. He could probably tell you. Like he'll have a record of what time he called in to figure out whether to repair it or buy a new one.
Okay.
So he'll have a record of his calls too.
Okay, before 10 a.m. A little before 10 a.m. he left. Okay. And then you went back to working on papers and so forth?
Yeah, I was making some breakfast. I remember I was making oatmeal, so it was taking a while. It was like that kind that you have to stir for a long time. And I was talking to Charlie, so there's my call to Charlie, and then I called Renee, my friend who's interviewing for a job at FSU today. She was driving in, and I wanted to wish her good luck and see if I could meet her for a hug at some point today.
Okay.
So that was at 10:24.
Oh, God. Meet you for a hug. I'd rather die.
I called my friend Tova back at 11:22. I think I was just, in between working on the paper, being distracted.
So between 10:24 and 11:22, all right, 10:24, you're talking to Renee.
I talked to her for 18 minutes.
Okay, so now we're up to 10:24, 424 plus 18, we're at 40 something.
42?
42?
Yeah. Then I went back to working. And then I tried Danny again. I left a message at 11:42 a.m. It's probably just, 27 seconds. I just left him a message.
And this is outlet your house.
Adelsons have nothing to do with this, Skystone. Are you okay? Okay. What?
House?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the reason I'm getting down to this, I'm trying to whittle this down with what they pulled from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever leave your house before you went to the liquor store and got turned around on Prescott?
No.
Never left?
No.
Okay. Right. And so at 10:42, you're done with the call from Renee.
Yeah.
And you don't make another call again, according to what I have here. You called Tova.
At 11:22.
At 11:22. So between 10:42.
I worked for a total of like 20 minutes. It's a good thing I'm not on a timesheet.
Okay. So from 10:42.
And you know what? If you took my computer, you could probably find records of like what time I saved the document. And I'd be happy to sign a waiver so you could look at my computer.
And 10:42 to 11:22, you're working on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you remember the call to Tova.
Mm-hmm.
And that was,
I just left her. She had called. I was just returning her call.
Okay.
So I just left a message. And then I tried Danny. I left him a call. I worked in between. Once again, it would be good. I'll get you my computer if you want to take a look at the documents.
I just have to validate all of this. That's all. So,
and you could probably go to my email records, which you should have. When you guys did the phone, you did the email records, so you would have of like what time I sent messages.
Were you sending email messages during those times?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Between 10:42 and 11:22.
I think so, because I don't remember exactly what time, but before I left the house at noon, I sent off the edits, like the citations to the law school library to have someone look at my citations on this paper that's due that I no longer care about.
Okay. And so how can we say, do you have some way of showing a timeline of when
I sent email?
No, when you left the house.
Oh, yeah. So the only thing I have that is, the only thing that I guess I have is I was waiting to call back this colleague of mine, Joe Davis, and I called him from the car at 12:27. And he was the first call I made as I was pulling out of the driveway, so that was like 12:27.
That's leaving the house.
That was leaving the house. So I got into the car, I put on my ear.
Hey, good news, guys. Skystone is gone. We lost a moron. I just felt the chat get lighter. She gone!
Your piece, I called Joe. And Joe was busy with a colleague. And then I was returning phone calls. I called back this woman, Laura. That was at 12:29. And then I called my friend Jeff Skopek, who's different Jeff, lives in Boston, just had a baby. And so I was catching up with him about his baby. And we were on the phone about 16 minutes. I was on the phone with him on the way to the liquor store.
Joe Davis was the one at 12:27?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I actually spoke with Joe. Laura, I left a message, and then Jeff I spoke with for a while, and then the connection cut out. I went into the liquor store. I tried him back again. We talked for a few minutes. Connection cut out again, and I was like, I'm at lunch. I'll just call him back later.
Okay. When you went to the liquor store, did you already know what you were going to get, or you had to?
Yeah, I had the name of, I don't know bourbon, but I was supposed to go to this party tonight. It's like a stock the bar party, and so I asked my friend what do they like, and she wrote down the name of the type of bourbon. So I went in the store to get Bulleit bourbon, and so I asked the guy in the store like, where's your bourbon? So he showed it to me, and I found it.
It's Boulet, General Isom. Okay, Boulet bourbon, Boulet bourbon, Boulet bourbon.
Okay, so you just went. He pointed out where the bourbon was.
Yeah.
And you go there and you just grab the brand that's familiar by the name?
Yeah, that's what they said they wanted. So.
Okay. So
Hey, don't worry about it, Ryden. No one fucks with a shotgun. Not around here.
You discussed with the clerk whether it's good, whether it's bad.
The only thing I said I discussed is I walked over and he was like, can I see your ID? And I was like, why are you laughing? I could be 18.
Okay.
And I was like, I love to be asked how old I am. I'm like, I'm old as dirt. Here you go. And so I handed it to him.
I'm old as dirt. Silver hair. Silver hair. We could be sisters if it wasn't for my silver hair.
So anyway, we had like a little banter, and he was like, your eyes are so blue. And I was like, thank you. And then I left. That's it. Yeah.
Will you put his name underneath there, please?
This is so creepy.
Just print his name.
That looks like him as a student. I wonder if that's like...
Oh, will you sign it as you're saying that's who Jeff Lacoste is?
Do you want me to like...
Just sign your name and the date.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to confirm
Okay.
who this person is.
Yeah.
Call your phone.
Yes. Sign your name. Sign your name. Put the date, and then put from a scale of 1 to 10 how jealous he is. And then brackets. Easily loses control. Close bracket.
That call.
Had an axe to grind. Bracket.
I know, I just like...
You can wait if you want to.
No,
I feel like I was holding you up. So.
You were, and I...
I was, okay.
No, I mean, I want them here. I don't want to tell them what happened and what's going on because they're very emotional.
Well...
And,
make sure they're not driving.
Yeah. Plus, they already know because of my purchase. We'd already agreed that would be the clue.
Thing is, like, they're going to now get in the car for 8 hours and come up, and
are they both very emotional? Is one more emotional than the
my
other?
mom's more emotional than my dad's more of a straight shooter.
Okay.
Well, people must really know now, because I just got a text from someone that...
Straight shooter? A shooter? Shooting bullets into bottles of bourbon.
said, I know everyone's calling you right now, but could this really be happening?
I just talked with Alan, and he asked me, he was going to take the kids by the house to get some clothes, and said that they have a key, but don't know your alarm code.
I didn't set the alarm when I left.
Okay. That makes
but
it easy.
If it goes off, it's 10:13.
Okay. And we spoke with the hospital. We've spoken with his dad. We did make contact with him. One of the other victim advocates was able to make contact with him. I don't know all the ins and outs of the conversation.
I'm sure he's devastated.
He's apparently in Colorado.
Oh.
Or in Aspen. Or he's in Aspen. Is at least what I understood.
That's right. That's Phil Markel was in Aspen, right? I remember hearing that.
It's closer.
Right.
Well, I don't know if that's any closer.
I was going to say, the nurse at the hospital,
Yeah.
The rabbi was up there, and I'm sorry.
That's not. Oh, it doesn't.
I know.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
I'm correcting you. I'm sorry.
And I realized that when I called Jane, I was like, wait, I wrote that wrong. Was talking about something about the rabbi and didn't know what.
I'm sorry. Phil was talking. His dad was talking.
No, the nurse at the hospital,
Yeah.
and this was prior to me getting them in contact about what type of Jewish whatever he practices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He calls himself Flexodox, so he's Orthodox-ish. That's
Okay.
why the rabbi is a good choice. The one that's here,
Okay.
Oyerman.
Okay.
He's like his
Okay.
denomination.
He is there. Okay.
So, and he's at the hospital.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, and that's what I thought, and my conversation with him is, oh yes, very familiar. And then when I talked to the nurse, so we may have been talking about two different people
Do
because,
we have an update on what's going on medically? Like,
I didn't even ask. Because
Medically. Can we get a death certificate yet?
I know somebody else is dealing with that, and my understanding is he's in ICU. Last I heard, was he was probably not going to survive. But they are trying to
And you
work out
told
the
his dad
organ
that?
donor
Oh my God.
aspect
Okay.
of that whole thing.
And you told his dad this?
Wow, I wonder who's got Professor Markel's kidneys now, huh? Is someone out there walking around with Markel kidneys? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are.
And is he coming? Is he?
Well, and Melanie spoke with him, and I hadn't had a chance to sit down and talk with her since, because I was on the phone. I was trying to give the nurse a heads up to say, hey, just so you know, we've talked to the dad. He's going to be calling, so that random person didn't call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And
Did Alan say the kids needed clothes?
Well,
they can just sleep in their closet.
well, and he didn't know how long you were going to be, and stuff like that. And Jane called and said when you are ready to go, she would like to come up here and go with you if she need, just so you're not going by yourself.
That'd be great.
That type.
Am I allowed to take my car?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
Did they keep the keys or?
I don't know if
I know she had the keys. Did we ever get them from? Did someone take the keys?
Jim did.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
he may not have given them back. I'll double check.
Yeah,
Again, we're all doing different things, so I may have missed something, but I'll double check.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have the keys. I'm gonna call my parents.
Okay.
Okay.
And y'all spoke with Ison about
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. He said that's okay, right?
Yep.
Do you need anything? Are you hungry? I know you. Some people won't.
All right. Yeah, that's all of this.
I think you're going to be upset.
They're very angry with him, right?
Well,
this isn't like
you
it's their son, but he's the father of my kids, and this is a very, pardon my language, fucked up situation.
Don't pardon your language at all. I would, you know what? When I was talking I would let them know, first because you're upset, so let them know that I'm okay.
Yeah.
As in you're okay.
Well, that's why I
and
need to call them, because my mom would be like, "What happened?" Like if the police called, my mom would lose her shit.
Right, and that's why we always try to get people there in person or get.
Yeah.
So, just say.
Yeah, if the boys are picked up by a police officer, they'll lose their shit. It's scary. If the cops call my mom, she'll lose her shit. I need to have full control.
Danny.
7 o'clock already. I have to see my kids before they go to bed. I'm sure they're not going to want to go to bed without me, but
And I'm sure they're going to be hyped up a little bit because they're
oh my god.
house.
Oh my god.
This is.
The 2 asks, her alarm code is 1013. Is that code for something? No, that's Lincoln's birthday, October 13th.
Not a normal situation, and things are going to happen a little bit abnormal. And,
No, I know. I'm just picturing
and part
I'm
of
just
it.
so innocent. I don't know anything, and I should not have to go through this.
Oh, you're so genuine, Wendy.
But you know what? Kids are resilient, and I can tell already, are a compassionate and strong woman. And better than all that, too, is you've got an awesome support system, whether it be your family or just you've got a ton of people calling you. You've got a network, so you'll have people to help be strong for you.
People must be figuring this out. I just got a call from Karen, who's friends with Robin, who used to live here but is in Oregon now, and she just got a call from Robin. I mean, do you think my attorney's calling me because he wants to make sure that I'm committed a heinous crime?
I mean, I don't know. Does your I don't think you should be worried.
I know, like, I don't have to call him, right?
Yeah, and I think if anything, it's probably maybe someone concerned for you that's calling him and maybe setting him off to this, and he's just,
He's not like my criminal defense
right?
attorney.
Does he do criminal defense?
I have no idea.
So I don't. You're an attorney, so you know your rights very well, probably. And I think it's just more people being concerned.
Ah, that's annoying. God, right in my ears. Skipping.
And then be connecting with each other.
And then what'll happen is they'll get really frustrated because they'll try to contact the police department. We're not telling anyone anything. They'll try to contact the hospital. The hospital's like, no.
Here comes cheesy. Okay, I'm gonna call my parents.
Okay.
I have no idea what to say because I don't even know that he's dead. I just know that he has been shot.
But all signs of what everyone's telling you, I mean, when they start talking.
I know he's been shot and about 5 minutes away from having no kidneys anymore. So it's not looking good.
I know that's not really.
He's kind of.
Okay.
I mean that's kind of the deal, right? I mean they're keeping him alive because the vital organs that are in his body are a safe place to keep them until they can, have this is where they're going and the logistics of that set up. I mean, it's really important. It's going to save someone else's life, and his body at the moment, it's like keeping something in the fridge so it doesn't go bad, right? I guess. I mean, you may have noticed, guys, I am not a doctor. So I'm guessing, but I just think out loud. I think out loud, and I'm right sometimes. Sometimes I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that.
So I just want to tell them what happened and that I need them here.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to come up here
probably.
Kids are fine. Mm-hmm. And let them know, when they ask, say the kids are with Lynn and Alan. I'm going to probably be seeing them relatively soon.
I will, right? I'll be out of here soon. Yeah, okay.
I know it's probably...
so creepy to see Jeff's picture. Like, it looked like a weird mugshot. Like, can you... Oh, dear God. Okay.
Nervous.
No, I think it's a shock reaction. Right? Shock reaction?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm a shaker when I get upset. So, yeah.
I don't usually shake. I really don't. Okay, here it goes. This is the worst day of my life. Maybe I should text them if I can't reach them. Hi, Mom. How's it going? Maybe I should text them if I can't reach them. Hi, Mom. How's it going? Mom, I need you to sit down. I am fine. The boys are fine. I need you to sit down. I'm fine, and the boys are fine. Danny has been. You can put me on speaker. Yeah. Danny has been shot.
Oh. It's not very good, is it? What?
Yeah. Danny has been shot. And I don't think he's gonna make it. And so I know. So I found this out around 1 or 2 today, and I'm at the police station, and I'm trying to help them figure out who may have done this. The boys are fine. I had Lynn and Alan pick them up from school, and they're with Lynn and Alan right now. And I'm gonna leave here soon and go be with them. But I really need you to come here and be with me. But I want you to either fly, obviously you can't leave right now, but I need you to get yourself together. If it's too much to drive, I'd really rather that you flew up. I'm at the police station, and I'm gonna leave soon and be with the boys before they go to bed. They're with Alan and Lynn, and they're totally fine. Yeah, the boys are fine, but they don't know anything yet. In his house.
In his house?
I know. So I just need you to calm down before you get in the car, okay?
Sounds like there would be a follow-up question to that. Where did this happen? In his house? By who? What do you mean in his house? He got shot in his house? Who by?
Okay, so, and it's evening, so if you want to...
There's no follow-up question. What? Where did this happen? In his house? Oh, okay. So, we'll be up in the morning.
Come here tomorrow. I have a lot of people that'll, be here with me, and, we'll have a lot of support. So I want you to take your time and just be safe in getting here, but I'd like you to come when you can, okay? Okay. All right. I love you. I think Jane might, I have the car here, but Jane might take me. I'm not going to be alone, so I have a lot of support, and I'll be fine. Yeah,
there's a lot of people I can use.
Come here, that would be great.
Yeah. We're just going to make one stop first, Whale Harbour, before we get on Alligator Alley and go through the SunPass toll transponder, which will be tracked. And later show our the proximity of our movements to Charlie's house, which will later correspond with the evidence of Charlie telling Katie that we just dropped off the money. The wet money that went mouldy in a bag. Fucking amateurs.
He's in the ICU in the hospital. Okay, but be careful, okay? Okay. 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 Love you too. Bye. Mom.
Call me later.
Mom.
Call me later. I love you. I'd be like, okay, so we're getting ready. We're packing and leaving, and we'll be there tonight. And then I'd say, okay, call me as soon as you get out of the police station.
You did awesome with that call. You were so stressed out about it, and you handled it.
I just wanted you to tell
Yeah.
Ellen. Okay.
You did awesome on that call. You did awesome when you gave that lecture at the Red Cross event. Will you sign my book?
And just because my suggestion to him, just because we don't know what's going on, was if he goes to the house.
Sorry, my mom might be calling back because she heard me. Mom? You did, yeah. I just wanted to ask if you could just tell Charlie for me. I just don't want to be making calls right now, so if you could...
Yeah, I wanted to put it on record that the reason you called my brother is because I requested. And of course, I wouldn't make such a request if that were a nefarious action. So, yeah, all our communication has an excuse. We have the TV repair, we have the bullet bourbon purchase, and now I am requesting that you tell Charlie, okay, in person, when you drop off the money. Oops, I've said too much.
If you could just tell Charlie for me, that would be great. Okay, and just, like, it's on the news a little bit that there was a shooting on Trescott, and so I'm starting to get a lot of calls, and...
Hey, thank you, the champ, who says, you are totally spot on with your comments, True Crime Metrix. And so are you. With comments like that, the champ, that's the perfect comment, really.
I'm not going to be answering them unless they're from you, so I would really try not to tell anybody what's going on just yet. Just because, like, he's in the hospital and... Charlie, I talked to Charlie earlier today, obviously before any of this happened. Like, I talked to him at like 10 this morning.
That's Wendy's cell ring. Classy, Riding Shotgun says. That is a good point, isn't it? I mean, to my ear, it almost sounds like that ring is the default ring that you get on a new phone that no one in their right mind keeps, right? I wonder how long she's had this phone. Just long enough to, you know, set up a few texts and apps, or what? Oh, here comes the rain. Storm season now, guys. Late March.
He said that he was coming to visit you guys this weekend, and
oh yes, just before. Great way to support the channel. Thank you, Riding Shotgun, for posting that. Buy me a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix. Link in the description. Remember to like the video, share, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join us on social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the fabulous Discord. Check out the merch in the merch store. Patreon membership's also in the description for the video, but the best way to support the channel going forward, guys, is buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix. Thank you so kindly.
Had plans, and he sounded good. I just can't, Mom. So can you just tell him? Yeah, just tell him for me, and then I'm sure I'll talk to him soon. But I don't want to be on the phone unless I have to right now. Okay? Okay. All right. Love you too. Bye. My mom handled that pretty well. Could you hear her?
Leslie B. How you doing, Leslie? Good to see you.
Yeah. I think, you know, because you're a mama, but mom's always going that natural instinct to kind of protect and help and...
Yeah, not like you, Sarah. I'm guessing you don't have kids. You've been busy in school, and you're new on the job, so, yeah, not much time for raising babies.
Yeah. I'm waiting to hear from you whenever you can. That's Jane. When she said she's here if I need company or a ride, do you think she meant here, like, metaphysically, or here, like, in the lobby?
No, I think I would hope metaphysically. And again, remind me, Jane's the neighbor down the street that kind of... Oh, no, Jane. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that it's metaphysically. I think Wendi Adelson just enjoyed the opportunity to use the word metaphysically in a sentence, right? She's going to talk about Friedrich Nietzsche in a minute and start, fucking citing philosophy quotes.
You hear? Yeah, I think it sounded like Joanna said she talked to her recently.
If Jane was outside, she'd be like, I've just got back to the police station. If you want me to hang around, I'm just outside. I'm waiting outside. That's clear. That's so clear.
Right.
Hey, I just wanted to say I talked with Alan.
She did get a new phone, according to Jeff. Yeah, but that new phone was after the murder. I'm wondering if if she got this new phone, this phone that she's got now. Just going off the ringtone observation that you put forward, riding shotgun, because I believe that was the default ring that came with a phone at some point, some brand of phone that no one would keep. No one would keep that. But if you just got a phone to use for a couple of months to build up a few texts, a bit of history, it came back from the Cellbrite. Is it Cellbrite that does the mirror drive or whatever, the download of all the information? Is that the software, Cellbrite? It came back so quick. We've seen those phones last for fucking days with all photos and everything on them. If there's lots of stuff, it was clearly very empty. Which she could have just deleted anything, but wouldn't it even be better to have a brand new device? I mean, not brand new, just new enough, just old enough that you could make it look like it's not new. You know what I mean?
My recommendation for you tonight,
and if you've just bought it, for that purpose, would you really need to change the ringtone? Would that be a priority if it was just a prop for, this situation?
Possibly.
Just an idea, guys. I'm not committing to that, but I'm just thinking aloud.
And he said that you were more than welcome to stay at their house. Yeah, so I wanted to let you know that.
Great.
Because I don't want you going home, just because we don't know what's going on.
I just am a little scared. So I'd really rather stay. Yeah. Are they okay with me being there? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
What we're going to do is, just to cut to the chase, I'm going to follow you home, or if you're not well enough, we'll get somebody else to drive your van if you want that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get your computer from the house and everything. And then, so you're not going to go home by yourself.
Okay. I'm happy to go to the house and I can give you my password and stuff to get into the computer.
And do you want me to drive your van home? He can follow us.
Can we do that? Can you and I go home and then I'll give you my password and...
That's fine.
You're in law school, right?
I teach at the law school.
So you need this computer, or do you have backup somewhere?
I mean, I don't imagine I'll be...
You're in law school, right? I'm a professor, bitch. Did Mr. Buff think that she was a student? A very naughty student.
Pretty much work done.
Right.
No, but you need it like next week.
I do.
Depends on how long we keep it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, obviously this is more important, so if you need my computer, you can have my computer and I just won't work for a little while, that's all.
Do you have it backed up somewhere?
It's backed up to there's a drive into the
external
law
drive.
school. No, not an
This isn't even in her head at all, because she's already moved to Miami in her head. She's not going back to teach at FSU. Are you fucking kidding? But that question threw her just a little, just a touch. Why? Because it wasn't anticipated. So she had to go back. She had to go back and reset and go, okay, I will be working next week at FSU, where I stay, where I live, where I've made a life for myself in Tallahassee. Yeah. Just had a little throw back there, right? Let's just see that again, briefly.
You need it like next week.
I do.
Depends on how long we keep it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, obviously this is more important.
Whatever. Keep it. I don't care.
So if you need my computer, you can have my computer.
Yeah, you can keep my $300 laptop. It's not mine anyway. It belongs to a job which I no longer want or do.
Work for a little while, that's all.
Do you have it backed up somewhere?
It's backed up to there's a drive
hard drive,
into the
external
law
hard drive.
school. No, not an external, but like the law school has a server that,
Okay.
No.
You can work off of it in the Love building or something.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to be going back to
I
work.
understand.
So you can have my computer if you need it, and I'll figure out what to do. Okay.
You'll get it back.
Okay.
This email to Jeff
And then-
on the 14th. What I haven't looked at any of that stuff.
Yeah, I could probably find it for you, like in my. Well, I'm just saying, like if we stop at my house, I can go to my sent mail and find it for you.
Well, do you remember what you said?
Basically, just I was kind of vague, but I just said like I'm having a hard time. My head and my heart are saying two different things right now. I just would really appreciate if I could have a week of no contact from you.
Yeah.
To
16 days apart. We're back. We're going to have awkward yoga. And then I'm going to need a break. My head and my heart, and I can't reconcile the head and the heart. I tell you what, don't bother. I'm out.
figure things out.
Okay.
That's basically it. I mean, you'll see.
But you didn't telegraph anything at yoga. You waited till after you got home, right?
He was really like, let's go out tomorrow, let's do this, let's do that. I was having trouble saying no, but I was feeling kind of pressured, and so I just, no. I mean, I'm a little bit on the passive-aggressive side, so I was having trouble, like,
I'll say.
with the confrontation.
And then he left and you left separately from yoga? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then that's when you went home and decided.
I went home. I actually was having a conversation with a friend who suggested the no contact for a week just to get some heads, like just to clear my head, and so I thought it was a good idea, and I wrote on.
Good point, Ian. Could just be from a factory reset of her iPhone. Sure. Doesn't even have to be a new device.
I want to clarify. That's because
the point is that her ringtone. I mean. I don't know this 100%, but it sounds like a default ringtone, right? That comes from a factory reset device or a new device. And it also sounds like a ringtone that you wouldn't have, like, as part of your life. I mean, I haven't updated the ringtone, but the iPhone 16, I mean, no one calls me. I get texts, and I use WhatsApp. So, yeah, I don't really get calls. I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. But I am not representative of the normal population, believe me.
That's because I was trying to decide whether to get back together with him.
Well, because of the lapse in time from the 28th of June?
That lapse in time was because I was in Miami with my family, so...
I like how Ison's sniffing around that point. Yeah. He's like, well, you already had time apart. I mean... Oh, but I was in full-on mommy mode. Yeah. No, Wendy, tell the truth. You dropped the kids off with your mum and dad, and then you went and slept with 8 different men.
But it was separation.
There was separation, but I was...
Only for the trip.
I was 24/7 with the kids. I wasn't like... I don't know. I was just in full-on mommy mode. I wasn't, like, thinking of what was going on with Jeff. I kind of wanted to be in Tallahassee and, like, feel his absence and be here and know, like, am I missing Jeff or am I missing having a boyfriend in general? Like, I just wanted to get some clarity for myself.
All right. When you're in Miami or South Florida, I guess Coral Springs, isn't it? When you're down there, are you and Jeff constantly in communication?
This 2-week period, you mean?
The one after?
The one that just happened? We weren't in constant communication. I'd say we were in communication. We talked a few times. Over the 12 days, we talked maybe 3 or 4 times. We texted a little bit. I would tell him something funny the kids did or something. But I honestly didn't have a lot of privacy or time to myself, and so I was feeling sad about what was going on, but I wasn't communicating with him that much.
you're feeling sad about?
Well, I felt like he and I were in a great relationship, and he had done this thing to kind of make it not so great.
How would you describe his actions in Gainesville as far as the coming back from dinner?
Yeah.
Going through your phone?
No, that he did like months earlier.
I'm sorry.
So that didn't happen that night. He came back and he was upset, and he said, like, I was asking about this, like, every year FSU picks a book for all the freshmen to read, and this year they picked my book, and so I'm giving this speech in August in front of the whole freshman class, and he...
But Wendy, unfortunately, your attorney will tell you not to do it and bar you from doing it, essentially, saying, Inside Edition will be all over you like a rash. Man, she was absolutely livid at that, you know. She wrote her shit book, somehow conned FSU to support it as the common read for all incoming freshmen. Commencement speech to be given in August, and your attorney barred you from... I mean, that's another thing. You see what I was saying about Wendy's resentments to her mother and brother. They're not all pre-murder. A lot of it is. But it continued as well. And Wendy's massive agitation at not being able to perform, to give her commencement speech at FSU in August, you know, and really milk everything she can out of her quote-unquote achievement of writing that shit book. You know, she was absolutely fucking furious about that, right? Many things happened post-murder that continued to contribute to Wendy's what is the word? Satisfaction of having her mother and brother banged up for life.
He was like, I was going to wait until your big speech was over in August to tell you this, but like I just can't like keep it in anymore. Like I know that you were cheating with Daniel. Like I know that you were seeing Daniel. And then he just kept talking about it, and the way he was going about it, it just felt very much like he was like, I have evidence, and you know, it was very kind of legal in a way, and it just seemed, I don't know, like he just didn't trust me, and I was kind of feeling like that was going to be the end of us.
Okay, I misunderstood. So he did not go through your phone or anything? He
did previously. He had said to me, like, well, on March 19th, where were you? And I was like, I don't remember what I ate for breakfast. And so he was like, well, when I looked at your agenda book, it said that you were supposed to see Daniel that day, and he's like, and I looked on your phone, and like you used to have all your old text messages up, but now you've erased them all. And I was like, I don't know, I just went through my phone and erased stuff sometimes.
He's bringing this up on the 28th.
He brought all this up,
okay,
of like past stuff that had happened since February.
Did he ever show any jealousy or any anger towards Danny, or was it all Daniel?
He was jealous of Daniel. He was not jealous of Danny. He spent a lot of time talking to me through, like, it's been a contentious divorce. I mean, it's been a hard time, and so he would talk to me through things I would be upset about. Sorry, it's gonna happen now, I guess. So, you know, I mean, he's a therapist, so he would sit and let me talk for long periods of time about how sad I was about certain things or how upset I was about certain things. And he would just listen and offer ideas of like, well, what if you tried, like, you know, if it upsets you that you hear from him so often, we have a parenting coordinator. Like, what if you ask the parenting coordinator to only have emails from him like twice a week instead of all day long every day, 5 days a week? You know, like he would listen and say, I'm so sorry you're going through this, and then offer alternatives. But he was never like, I'm so pissed, or, you know, he wasn't.
He never showed emotion towards any of this?
I mean, in the sense of like, I'm so sorry for you, like this sounds really hard, I'm sorry you're dealing with it.
Just a really mature, caring adults that would come up with credible solutions, fully in the confines of the law and what is reasonable for all parties. I mean, you know what I mean? You couldn't have a more well-adjusted, logical aid of support than from Jeff Lacasse in this situation.
He would hold me, you know, that kind of stuff, but not like I'm so angry.
Did he ever meet Danny?
Yeah, he met him a few times. Sometimes Danny would be late to pick up the kids, and there'd be like an overlap where Jeff would come, and so he had met him. There was like the boys sang at the Capitol one time, and Danny was there and Jeff was there, and Danny seemed, I mean, I'm sure it's not fun to see your ex-wife with someone new, but Danny seemed, he was very pleasant and very fine about it. He was really appropriate, and Jeff was like, you know, they'd say, hey, you know, they wouldn't really like make a lot of small talk, but fine.
Had Jeff ever been to your former house on Trescott?
No.
Would he have any reason to go there?
No.
Does he know where?
I think.
How are you doing, Maya Rodriguez Sorensen, Esquire?
He would know where it is because I would sometimes take Trescott and sometimes not, kind of depending. Like if I knew the kids were there and I thought I might have the chance of like running into them, then I didn't take Trescott. If it was like nighttime and we were driving back from somewhere, sometimes I would take Trescott and I would be like, "There's my former home," you know, like it's, you know, I would point it out.
With him in the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that sounds fun to do, doesn't it? You know, you're driving with your new girlfriend, and she says, "Hey, you want to go and see where my ex-husband lives? There's my former home." Okay.
I don't remember like a specific instance in which I did that, but I'm sure that would be something I'd say like, "Wow, that was my house. Like, isn't it pretty?" Or, you know.
So you never took him there specifically to pick up the kids or
no.
exchange anything or anything along those lines?
No.
What was the most recent time from now, the most recent past time that you had this discussion about the trials and tribulations of your ex-husband and so forth with Jeff?
It was all the time.
All the time. Okay. All right.
I can't pin down a date, but I'm trying to think of like what the most recent issue would be. I haven't talked to Jeff all week, so it wasn't now.
You didn't talk to him since Monday night, and
Not
you
since
emailed him with
Monday.
no response after that.
Yeah, so it wasn't this week. But I'm trying to think of what it... I mean, there were always things, like when he first started dating Amy, he would Skype from bed with Amy, and so I would talk to him about that, of like, I don't think this is that appropriate, like he's Skyping, you know, from bed, you and I would never do that. But I think that was more like a month ago. What was the last?
We got just 2 minutes and 52 seconds on our goal at the top of the chat, guys, for Adelson Rich action figure collectible collection from True Crime Metrix. We're going to have it all. We're going to have Judge Everett. We're going to have Georgia Kappelman, Sigfredo, Luis, and of course the main players, all the Adelsons in multiple outfits with Dan Markel. That'll be the golden edition Dan Markel. As a tribute to all that he did for FSU, for all that he did for Harvard University. He was, editor of the Crimson newsletter, or newspaper. What do you call it? You know, Crimson, Harvard Crimson. Yeah. Who else have we got? Oh, thank you so much, Rad and Shotgun. 2 minutes and 2 seconds, guys. If anyone wants to support us with our goal at the top of the chat for our Adelson action figure collectible collection. What else have we got? Who else? Katie McBanoir. What? It was wobbling! Wobbling! Oh, God. Yeah. No, it's going to be great. I think we're going to have to do a proper business plan on GoFundMe and then just put it out to the masses, right? Put it out to the masses. But we are collecting on the lives at the moment to help us support with that venture. I mean, just imagine if we really bring this to fruition. Imagine if you were part of making that happen. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't you love to see that in the world and go, I did this. I did this. This was me. I was part of this.
Just wondered if there was anything recently that kind of
There was nothing
sparked.
like a huge thing of like, oh, I can't believe he did X, Y, or Z. And in fact, I feel like we were trying to figure out the school decision this week, but that happened. I got the call.
Yeah, there was no X, Y, or Z. In fact, he put up with quite a lot of my antics.
Tuesday or Wednesday, so Jeff didn't even know about that.
Rashbaum. What are his quotes going to be? There's so many with Rashbaum. Obviously, puzzle pieces. What does he say to Jeff? You were afraid of my client? I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were. Yeah. Did you call the police? You heard it. You heard it. Puzzle pieces.
I honestly can't think of a.
Right. Did you have a contact person at this prospective school for one of your kids? Who was that?
Danny and I both talked to her. So it's a woman named Erin Lombardo. I think she might be the assistant principal there. So
what's the name of the school?
It's the School of Arts and Sciences.
Okay.
It's a charter school in town, and they had put in an application for Ben, and he got picked from the lottery to go. And so they called.
That's going to be our video for. Don't commit to a date, Metrix. Don't commit to a date. We're trying for tomorrow. Hopefully it's tomorrow. I don't see a reason it won't be tomorrow, but I don't want to disappoint people with my terrible organization skills. But we are going to be looking at... In fact, yeah, we can do that easy because it's a real short video. I think we're going to do it in the daytime. Just get it out there. We're going to be looking at the music teacher, Stuart somebody. Let me check his name. His name is... Stuart Schlazer. Stuart Schlazer, tomorrow, the music teacher from the School of Arts and Sciences that was on the phone with Dan Markel when he was actually shot in the face. I mean, that's fucking traumatizing, right? Imagine that. This huge case. I mean, he didn't know him. He was a friend of a friend. Stuart had a friend that was a law professor or student at FSU. Yeah, professor, I think. Who was friends with Dan Markel. Wendy enrolled the boy, at least one of the boys, in this school without even telling him. And Dan was having a chat with this guy who was a music teacher at the school just to get a feel for... the style of educational institution that it was. And then he said, hold on a minute, there's somebody in my driveway I don't recognize. Of course, that was Sigfredo Garcia. All 6'4" of him heading over with the short nose. With the short nose 38 to blow him away. And then Stuart called the cops, and the cops said, we've already received a call. So we're going to be having a look at that video tomorrow, guys. Come back and check it out. Subscribe to the channel.
Can find when they called. I think it was... They probably called Monday. I can't actually remember what day. They called at some point this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday maybe. And then Danny and I were trying to figure out whether this was a good option for him. And so, what night did I was at work on Thursday morning. So I talked to Erin Lombardo Thursday morning, and she said that she'd had a lengthy conversation with Danny the night before. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you have to do this twice. And she was like, I'm used to blended families, it's okay. And so he had a long conversation with her Wednesday night. I had a long conversation with her Thursday morning.
This past?
Erin, yesterday.
All right. You did a note to yourself referring to something about, if you want to look it up on your phone, I was.
I think I had to buy super glue.
No, it was before that. It was to JRL, or as in reference to JRL as a note to yourself.
Mm-hmm. What did I say?
He said, I can't remember what exactly it said. Something to the effect of.
Note like about, in the notes?
Yeah, you have a note thing or a date book thing or something.
Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see a JRL thing. But okay.
Do you refer to? Do you ever type anything?
Jeff. That's Jeff.
Do you refer to it as JRL?
Sometimes when I write his name down, just because I have other friends named Jeff. So.
Okay. I'll have to look. I'll have to go get it.
Yeah.
If I'll see what exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to check on that reference.
I'm running out of juice.
Do you drink soda? I can see if you can find like a Diet Coke or something. Or
I meant juice on the phone.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like running out of juice and like.
I sure am. Getting some emails.
Is Jane still here, or did she?
No, I think she meant metaphor.
Okay.
Oh my God. Well, my parents sounded really surprised, so it's at least a relief. I was trying to think of who would be angry enough to do something to him. My parents would be angry, but they're not capable of this. Thank God. I really couldn't handle that right now.
Yeah, no.
Can I ask Robin why Jimmy needs to talk to me, or just leave it alone?
Leave
it alone.
I can't.
I know.
I hate to advise on kind of those like legal situations.
Oh, here.
Hmm.
I mean, this is Lisa Frank, just like a friend of mine. I just read that there was a shooting on Trescott.
You know, this is it, isn't it? This is where Sarah earns her stripy skirt. She's noticed a big switch in Wendy, and although Sarah's new, she's trained in human behavior. And look at that placement of her hand on her mouth. Thoughtful hand on the mouth. Or the behavior panel will be like, she's holding back. She's holding back something she wants to say. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. I think there's a lot to it, right? And she does want to say something. Questions. Tough questions. She's just picking up the vibe. There's been a whole switch. And what has switched is now Wendy is running things. Running the show. Organizing things. Going through the phone.
Can I ask Robin why Jimmy needs to talk to me, or just leave it alone?
I can't.
I know.
I hate to advise on kind of those like legal situations.
Oh, here.
Hmm.
I mean, this is Lisa Frank, just like a friend of mine. I just read that there was a shooting on Trescott today. I hope you and the boys are safe. It's weird though. It's like, I guess the reaction is they're worried like that Danny did something, right? Because otherwise they know Lisa knows I don't live on Trescott. So I don't know. Wait, Jane is on her way to TPD, but I don't need her here, right? Because I'm going to Ellen's.
I think from my read when Joanna came in here, that someone was going to drive you and Joanna was going to drive your car at the last step to kind of, so that way your car would be somewhere safe.
Okay.
But maybe something has changed because things tend to change a lot.
Okay. I'll just leave her here for the minute.
And I think, you know what, your friends want to be here for you, and if things change, they're flexible, especially if she's a...
Yeah, things change, plans change.
Yeah. To flexibility. So.
God, I have so many social workers in my life. Jeff sounds crazy when I talk about him like this.
I don't think so.
Jeff sounds crazy when I talk about him like this, you know. She really wants the victim advocate to say, hey, you know, love can make good people do crazy things they can't take back, like putting a bullet in your ex-husband's head. It could have been him. We think it was him. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I've listened to everything you've said, and I don't think so. You know, notwithstanding social worker Jane McPhearson's ringing endorsement of the man, as a social worker, I would be looking at Jeff Lacasse. Danny's a jealous guy, Jeff is a jealous guy. It could have been him. I think it was him. Look into him. Can you believe she did that? And doesn't have the wherewithal, that's right, wherewithal, or retrospective self-concept to think, man, I got fucking duped and I put someone's whole life in jeopardy. Hasn't apologized, hasn't said anything publicly, just got duped. I would be looking at Jeff Lacasse. Is Jeff this much of a lunatic?
I really hope he didn't do this.
Is there something that would make you feel like he would be capable of something? Because you said...
Who is capable of doing something like this? I don't know anyone that, like... I represent victims of trafficking, but, like, I don't know the traffickers. And, like, I don't spend time with them. And so in my mind, like, someone who's capable of, like, extinguishing a human life or, like, thinking someone else's life is less than theirs, like, I work with the victims who have been thought as less than human, but not with the people who think that's okay.
You can look at the full one. It's kind of hard to see here because it printed sideways. Do you think there is insecurity that has nothing to do?
He's printed it wrong. Yeah, you can only see half the document because I don't know how to use the computer. But if you hold 3 pages together, you can sort of see the complete text.
With
but is this like a...
It's a calendar thing. So it's telling you to talk to JRL.
Okay, yeah. So I have been talking to friends this week about like what to do about Jeff, whether to get back together with him. And yesterday I talked to my friend Joey, who had some ideas. And so I put that in my calendar for Monday. Cause
Joey, I thought... Oh, no. Jimmy is the attorney, right? The attorney for the divorce case, not Joey.
It'll have been a week since I've not talked to him, so right. I put it in to remind myself, like, okay, now it's been a week, and of like to ask him these questions, like these are the things I was thinking about and things I want to talk to him about.
Yeah, I put in my calendar to contact Jeff on Monday, so obviously if I was setting him up for a murder happening on Friday and having him arrested, I wouldn't have put in my day planner to contact Jeff on Monday. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
When you're referring to this, you're saying Daniel, not Danny.
Daniel Sack.
Right. That's who you're saying. His aggression or his jealousy, however you want to talk about, however you want to describe it, is towards Daniel Sack.
Because Jeff really felt like, it's all about Daniel Sack, because Jeff just felt like everything was fine now that Daniel has...
Yeah, because that was the guy that I was fucking all week, all the time that we were together. That's where his jealousy was targeted. At the guy that was porking me while I was supposedly in an exclusive relationship with Jeff. Yeah, that's where his jealousy was. It was all directed at him, the one that was,
was moved to Amherst, and I kind of felt like if you're going to be insecure, it's going to be someone else some other time, that it's not just Daniel, that it's like something going on.
But this has never happened. This is
Yeah.
for this coming month.
Someone else, someone other time. Yeah, when I'm in Ohio, it's the coach for the Cleveland Browns. When I'm in Georgia, it's the advertising executive for Coca-Cola. You know, it's going to be someone else some other time, Jeff. You know, when I'm down in Orlando, it's going to be Miguel with his box of chocolates at the Hilton.
For Monday I'm writing down things to talk to him about.
Okay.
Makes me sound like a total weirdo.
No, that's fine. I just was curious because I saw Daniel, and I know you told me.
We don't need to read anything for you to seem like a total weirdo, and that would be putting it very nicely, Wendy. Okay?
It's to you to.
Well, because I
your
dated him,
ex-husband
and
is
it's
Danny.
like, and he goes by Danny. Like anyone who's friends with him, nobody calls him Daniel.
Okay.
I mean, it's just his given name, but there's not a person on earth that calls him that knows him. So he goes by Dan or Danny, and his niece and nephew call him Bo. A lot of the family calls him Bo as a nickname.
Right.
But Daniel Sack is Daniel Sack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When was the last time you talked to Daniel Sack?
I talked to him this week.
Okay. Everything's fine with him?
Yeah, he's living in Massachusetts. He's happy.
Okay.
We had a nice chat.
Okay.
I mean, he's my friend, and
All right.
yeah.
Okay. We're going to get ready to leave here just a minute.
Great.
And I think we've determined that.
We're gonna go to my house. I'll give you my computer.
Right. And passcode or whatever.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're going to go to the friend's house.
Mm-hmm. I'll pack a bag and we'll go. Okay, so Joanna is gonna come with us.
Yep.
I think my friend Jane is outside. She said she's parked outside TPD in case I need her. So we can tell her, I guess, that...
Jane
that was here.
McPhearson?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't need her, I guess. I mean, she can come with.
Yeah. Jane's served her purpose now. She came in, she put a big red circle around jealous Jeff, and she can go. She's done.
We just want to make sure you get someplace that you're comfortable, and you've already told me enough reasons that you feel like that maybe whoever did this...
I don't want to go home.
Right. So we're going home just to get the clothing, the computer, and then we can get you on to the other... I can't remember their names now.
Alan and Lynn.
Right.
They live really close to me.
Okay.
You look like you've had a long day.
I have.
Yeah. Well, even when he's had a good sleep, remembering two people's names in the same sentence from 45 minutes ago is a stretch for this man.
Okay, so we'll be getting ready to go in just a minute, okay?
Okay, well, I don't have a lot of stuff to take with
I know,
me. Can I throw out the tissues in the trash can?
Yeah, but we're not there yet. I just wanted to...
I'll get a trash can for you before you go, don't worry.
Okay, because I'm making...
It's okay. Do you want me to go with you on any?
Just put them back in the box. They haven't been used for anything. Hey, fucking save the rainforest, man.
You're really sweet. I'm okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
I love this bit. Love this bit.
I don't have a lot of stuff to take with
I know,
me. Can
I know.
Do you want me to go with you on any of this?
No?
You're really sweet. I'm okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
I mean, I'm gonna call you to check.
I'm most definitely not okay.
It's like a guy, I've said this before, it's like a guy trying to pick up a girl at a bar that's way out of his league, that goes up to her and says, hey, you want to, you want to get out of here? Maybe go to my place? And the girl's like, oh, you're really sweet. I'm okay. For what? For what? Why would we do that? I'm okay.
But
I'm on call this weekend. Okay. I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to give you my cell phone, and I'm available. Okay.
I know, I have I have friends, and I don't really.
That's good, and you know, friends will know more than I hope. But you might have questions that come up.
No, I mean, there's a lot that you can answer, and I'm sorry, I can't believe this is happening.
And I'm sorry this is happening.
Yeah, back to breakdown mode, so I don't have to confront your question. Do you want me to come with you on any of this? No, little girl. Coffee, now, 2 sugars.
God, everyone's sorry this is happening. You know, it's like my parents have more reason to dislike Danny than almost anyone else. He hurt their daughter, but listening to my mom just like cry and be horrified on the phone and be like, "Of course," she sounded like.
Well, it's horrible, and normal, good-hearted people don't wish.
Nobody wishes
things like this to happen. You know, like you might say, like,
Normal, good-hearted people. Well, where are those people? They're not in the icon, I can assure you. They're not at Whale Harbor either.
I get frustrated, you might be like, I hate someone, but you don't ever... Saying stuff out of emotion isn't something you really want sometimes to happen.
This is a very strange day.
Using the word strange is very kind of you, because you could use a lot of other explicitives to probably describe today for yourself.
I want to write Renee just because if there's any way I could. It's so strange that she's here today of all days.
Is she going for like a Title IX position or something like that at Florida State?
It's not a Title IX. It's actually like a social entrepreneurship position. I can't remember. Maybe she's lost her cell phone. She's run out of money. I can't even think.
No, you're okay. I'm sorry. I'm asking you. You're relevant.
Renee is. Hopefully that'll work. It's really messed up that people are worried when they hear gunshots on Trescott that they think like something happened to me. I guess it makes sense. It's divorce and people.
Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? There's a divorce, bitter divorce. One of them gets shot. Yeah. I don't think that's what they think. I think they're calling to see what's up. What have you done, Wendy? We know it was you. We know it was you. Getting ready to close out tonight, guys. We've got last call for buymeacoffee.com. 15 minutes to go. buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix.
I really would like to get out of here.
Very soon.
I'm sure you would too.
I know. And I'm on call this weekend, so...
Yeah, it's a really hard job.
It is, but... Yeah. You know, it's something I think's needed, and somehow I'm able to do it, and I don't know if it'll be mine forever, but it's...
I think it's probably got a lot of burnout. It'd be hard to do this forever. My stomach really hurts.
Just those little things, too, to keep in mind when you're kind of going through the motions, because that's what you're probably going to be doing the next few days.
Is to eat. When they're like, you need your work computer. I'm like, work? Take my computer. There's nothing on it you're going to find that's going to... Well, I don't know. Maybe there's something they'll find that's useful, but...
Well, you know, they're used to thinking. A lot of times things will happen like burglaries, or they deal with suspects who aren't cooperative and don't, you know, they're like, give me my stuff back. And...
Yeah.
The main thing, your parents will get here.
Yeah.
Focus on the boys.
I will.
Meet them where they're at. Maybe talk to your friends at the, did you say psychologist?
Psychiatrist. Child psychiatrist.
She might have some good pointers, but, you know, I always say meet kids where they're at. Be honest. Let them know, you know, when you're sad, if they get sad, if they see people around them that are sad, that's okay, you know, because people are going to be upset.
It's Sarah.
Yes. And I'll give you my card and write down my number.
Don't even remember your name because you are not important to me.
Two for you.
I was calling him General. I mean, I just am not okay.
That's all right, Wendy. We'll let you off with that one. We all call him General now. General Isom in the house.
Well, you this is a traumatic experience, and your brain's going to kind of process the stuff differently, so.
Is it good, like, should I be taking the kids to school when Monday comes around? Like, is it good to have, like, a routine for them?
I mean, it's up to you if you want to keep that. And that's
well, I say it, and now I'm like, I don't want those kids away from me. Like, what if there's, like, a deranged gunman in town? Like,
and I'm hoping as the weekend and time kind of goes on, hopefully the police department will be able to give you some more information, you know. And this is just a basic kind of how a criminal investigation works. They may know more than they're telling you, but they don't disclose much because if it gets out to someone who tells someone who tells someone, and
yeah,
it
and
gets
of course,
too.
I'm gonna tell a friend, and they're gonna be like,
right,
because I need to talk to someone. And
right. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
so,
not
you. Know, it can be frustrating sometimes dealing with that.
Someone worthy of my time and output. I need to talk to someone. I know you just offered that, but, you know, I meant someone real. Someone who is a friend of the General Counsel of FSU.
That's because you're like, well, what are you doing? Why haven't you told me this or that? And it's kind of all to protect the integrity of the case.
I know, so, I just, as he was driving me here, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I wonder if I could be, like, framed for something, like, if I didn't do something, but I'm still...
Framed for what, Wendy? He didn't tell you what was going on, Wendy. What were you a suspect for, Wendy?
I'm gonna end up in jail.
I mean, that's your attorney mind probably thinking, but you've been more than forthcoming with information, and you're doing everything you can to help.
Forthcoming with bullshit? Jeff sounds crazy when I talk about him like this.
I see why he's a good suspect. And Jane thought of him right away, but I didn't. I don't know why that is. I wasn't trying to be protective of him. I even thought of my own family.
Maybe you weren't really thinking of him at all right now in your brain?
I feel like a fierce mama cat right now. Like, I just want to get to my boys. And I know they're fine with Alan and Lynn. Like, and I think
that you want to hold them and see that they're okay with your own eyes. And
yeah, I really need to be with them. Will I tell them? I can't see it. I don't want to... Okay, so we think, like, Danny's not waking up. Like, is that... That's the thing,
that's
like, I don't want to tell my kids that their father is gone if he's not. Like, I don't want to have that...
Do you think you can be around them tonight without maybe disclosing to them?
Yeah.
I do.
Can someone just go down to the hospital and pull the plug out of the life support machine so that we could get this out of the way?
Then maybe it's something you could just wait till the morning till you know a little bit more certainty.
Is somebody going to tell me? Like, if he doesn't make it and it's, like, official, is someone going to...
What? I mean, I'll know because they'll notify me because then when incidents like this happen, they'll have to do an autopsy and things like that. So I can ask the investigator to let me know when they get... Because they'll have to notify the police.
They'll figure this out, right? They'll figure out who did this.
That will be their goal, and they figure it out.
There are unsolved crimes, aren't there?
I mean, there's always unsolved crimes, but I would say these guys that work here are really good. They're going to be working really...
Which ones? Yeah, they're really good at the biscuit competition, and they're really good at the cannoli eating competition. We've won 3 times. The fire department has nothing on us. Okay? These guys are good. 500 cannolis in 30 minutes. You know? You think the fire department's got a fucking... could hold a candle against us? We've got General Isom with his special competitive eater's belt. You know. 55 feet of elastic.
Hard, probably throughout tonight into the weekend.
They don't seem to be worried about my safety. Why is that? I'm not saying they're like they don't care about me, but they don't seem to be worried about me.
Probably because there's, from whatever they're looking at, there's not any indications as of yet, and I think they're taking the good precautionary measures to say.
Don't stay at home.
And it's good for you anyway to have support.
I will, like, I have an alarm system, right? I just don't necessarily, like, I got the alarm because my parents were like, you're a single woman that lives with 2 kids, like, you should have an alarm. I just don't think they're that useful. Like, I think by the time they call to be like, hey, was there, I feel like it's always too late.
Well, and you know, I think it's good for you tonight to just stay somewhere, and if anything,
be with
have support,
yeah,
and kind of a little bit of a distraction.
It'd be nice just not to worry about, like,
yeah, a little bit of bourbon maybe. Yeah, we'll get distracted. We'll get distracted.
I don't know. I'm just picturing like getting up and trying to, like, you know, the kids being like they're 3.5 and 5, right? Mm-hmm. Like they'll wanna eat ice cream or do whatever, mm-hmm. and like I don't have the energy to like impose any restrictions right now.
And then, you know, it's a difficult time. They might not need those restrictions, and
these poor kids.
But I think, you know, if you think you'd be comfortable tonight just kind of waiting to see. I do.
You think that makes sense? Like, not just because I am still not.
Well, you know, because this is. I would say maybe yes, it would make a little bit of sense. And talk about.
You know what she's trying to do? She's trying to get out of telling the boys today, because I'm telling you something. Supposing Wendi Adelson is actually a human being, just a very, very dark one, she must be absolutely frazzled right now. Imagine the longest day at work you ever had. Everything went wrong. You know, stress, hyper focus. I mean, the whole thing, right? I think the last thing Wendy wants to do this evening is go and tell the boys and deal with their shock, and, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of tears and misunderstanding and, you know, confusion, pain, for that they really don't have any capacity to deal with at such a young age. So they'll probably just be crying for hours, screaming. Do you want to deal with that after the longest day at work you ever had? So she doesn't have the energy to impose any restrictions right now. They'll probably just want to eat ice cream. Do you think it's a good idea not to tell the boys? She's trying to get that to come from someone else, right? Oh, well, they advised me. They said, don't. My lawyer advised me to get advice from TPD, who advised me to not tell the boys. Because she wants to go home, have quiet boys. I thought it was an Arbor Day. What are you doing here? Here, have some fucking ice cream, sit in the room and watch your stories. You know? So Mama's going to have a bourbon. Probably 11 or 12 shots. And, you know, get my head down. And then tomorrow, Nanny and Grandpa will be here and they'll be dealing with you. You know? Wendy wants some space after this day, believe me. Does not want to go home, tell the boys about their dead dad, shock the shit out of them, and have to deal with the aftermath of hours of screaming and crying toddlers. But it's got to come from someone else, right? She's got to always offset that responsibility. I was advised not to watch anything. Also not to listen. Don't read. That is exactly what's going on here. Anyone disagree? We've got it sussed on True Crime Metrix.
With your, you know, family and friends, but the thing is, because then if not, you're going to have to tell them something along the lines that he's seriously hurt. You know, you can't see him, you know, and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And that might, and then you're going to have to come back and be like, oh, well, actually, you know,
what do you tell your children when their father was murdered? It's not like Daddy had cancer and he's sick and he's around for a long time.
I don't think you tell them all that right away. And no. Again, I'm not, I don't work with children very often. But
I don't have any of my own.
Them, just that, he was really hurt and he had to either, go to heaven, whatever kind of concept that they have on that.
I said, I don't know how much they get this. But, he was fine. He was healthy. Mm-hmm. He was strong. It's not like he was sick and they saw him get sick.
Well, and that's why you said he was hurt, because, and I know they don't understand this, but think of this, he could have gotten in a traffic crash or something.
Nan says, imagine having to look at your sons in the eyes and telling them their dad is dying and knowing you and your family are responsible. I think she got a kick out of it, Nan. It's the result of her work, right? Those psychopaths that love to see the results of their work, even on a microcosm scale. It doesn't have to be a murder, but some smaller level stuff. But in this case, I really don't think I really don't believe she gives the first shit about Ben and Lincoln, other than what they enable for her, Hey, thanks so much, Evan Elizabeth Duke, who says, Wendy, your day is coming. The interview is telling. It so is. Evan Elizabeth Duke, and thank you for your super chat, much appreciated.
So, and I don't want to lie to them.
And you don't.
I don't want to say he was hurt. How was he hurt? He felt like.
Well, you could then say something like, "Some very bad person harmed your dad." Do you think they're gonna ask?
I don't want to. I
don't want to expose something,
but well, they're gonna be so scared. What if the very bad person comes and harms me, and then they're gonna be orphans?
Well, talk to, and again, I take it one day at a time, though. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves again.
I know, but I'm just trying to figure out, how do I go to the house and tell them what's going on?
When you were talking to your parents, you were very composed given the situation.
I'm usually a really good advocate for other people, just not for myself. So, yeah, I can put on my big girl pants if I have to, but talking to my parents and talking to my kids.
Well, and then when you do talk to them, I always look, I could be there with you, but they don't know me. So I think
that would freak them out more to have you there.
Right, exactly.
And why do we need her?
So
and they would ask you, who are you?
Right, and then we'd be little friends, but still the same. But have a support there for you. So if things get a little bit hard on you...
Can I text Ritu and just my friend who's a child psychiatrist? And
absolutely.
Because I think...
Yeah, and again, I'm not a psychiatrist and I don't work directly with children on
Do
a
you
regular
mind
basis.
if I talk to her? I'm sorry,
No.
I just keep feeling like I'm a suspect and I need to ask,
No.
No.
And she'll probably call you after you send her this text and
I'm gonna run out of battery soon. I can't believe it's almost 8 o'clock at night.
How bad is your battery?
I have 36%, which isn't terrible.
I was gonna say I might have a cable at my desk.
It's an older one. It's not one of the.
Oh, then yeah, I might have just been to you. Sorry.
Older
I
one.
had taken a shower this morning. My plan was to go to this lunch and then come home and work out and shower and then be ready for this party tonight with the boys. Plans are funny. All kinds of plans.
Yeah. Plans, schemes, conspiracies, they are funny, aren't they? They sort of almost have a life of their own and shape out over time.
taking my dad on a trip for his 70th birthday on the 2 weeks when Danny goes with the kids to Canada. I was thinking about that before, of like, if the situation were reversed, I want to make sure that his family has access to the kids, you know, that like they can feel like they didn't have a good relationship with them before. They're pretty difficult people, but these are their grandkids, you know. So I want to make sure that they can have a relationship with them.
And that'll be good too, because that'll be kind of giving them a relationship with their dad.
And until they step out of line, and then no more relationship with the boys. You want to come to the bar mitzvah? No, sorry, no. We're cancelling it, and then we're gonna book it again, but not tell you or invite you. Yeah, you stepped out of line. You went against an Adelson, and if you go against one Adelson, you go against all Adelsons.
Either Amy's ex-husband did this, or somebody did this on my behalf. Some crazy deranged person thought that this was a good way to support me, and that's why I feel responsible. Unless it was something to do with Amy, and then I don't feel responsible. But then I'm still responsible because I'm the one who left Danny. If I didn't leave him, he would never be with Amy.
Oh, that's deep, Wendy. It's like the butterfly effect.
I can see why you'd have that logic of that blaming, and it's going to take some time, but that's not the way to think. You did what was best for you and your kids. And you said it yourself, if anyone took this on their part, they were clearly not in their right mind.
Yeah, I tried to do what was best for me and the kids. But the stupid fucking judge said I couldn't move to Miami.
I feel like by complaining about how difficult he was, like, I inspired this lunacy.
Okay. You went through a divorce. You're not the only person that complains about their soon-to-be ex-spouse. Divorces aren't really things that happen to people that are completely happy and together, and each person's going to talk to their person. Okay? You did what you needed to do for yourself. And just because you confided in friends and family and got the support that you needed doesn't give anyone in your friends or family the authorization or even to conclude that that was an okay thing to do, if it was even something like that. And you don't stay with someone for forever just in case something might happen.
Less than a minute to go.
Do this, like,
actually, just over a minute to go.
I did this by asking for some time away from him. I made him crazy.
But you haven't said anything that would indicate that you would think Jeff had anything against.
I mean, he didn't like Danny because Danny hurt me, you know?
Right. But what would make you think he'd go to this?
How did he hurt you exactly? By not letting you steamroll over his life and take everything he had and cared about.
He's a social worker.
Yeah, real thug. Real thug.
He felt for me. He was sad for me when I was sad. He would help me reason out things and figure out how to, like...
But
even that, it's like... We have a parenting coordinator, and Danny didn't like our last parenting coordinator, so he fired her. And so we've been without one for a while, and like it's just all been dragging on. But we had a meeting July 24th, so next week, with this potential parenting coordinator, and Jeff helped me Like, I didn't ask him to, but he wrote this long email of, like, because I was like, yeah, the parenting corner asked if I have any issues, and I said I don't really, just, like, it's just hard, you know, co-parenting, but I don't have any, like, things I'm mad at.
And as a parenting coordinator, are they...
Their role is to help you, basically.
Oh, that was a fancy little ending, wasn't it? You like the mouse clicking? The mouse clicking. That's what all the professionals do. Now we're doing it too. Yep. Well, I guess right is right. God, I gotta sort her head out. Both of them. It's a terrible thumbnail, and I think we can do a lot better. We do better, but I made this in like 5 minutes. So give me a break. Look at Jeff. Oh, it was funny. The concept's there. Okay, so we are finished. We did it again, guys. We did it again, all the way through. Wendy's long day at TPD. God, wouldn't it be great if there was a police body cam footage of Isom going to the house to get the laptop and dropping her off at Lynn and Allen's. But I doubt it. I doubt it. We'll never get to see that. So what have we got planned? Tomorrow, there's going to be a bunch of stuff. There's going to be some on-demand, no commentary videos. One of them has never been released to the public. It's a bit of an interesting one. Yeah, be sure to look out for that. It's a black guy. It's a black guy called Willie. And that's all I'll say for now. But it's an Adelson case interview that we received. And it's being published tomorrow. So look forward to that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like the video on your way out, guys. Please do. It helps us with the algorithm. Support the channel on buymeacoffee.com/truecrimemetrics. And many thanks to the super chatters, super coffee go-getters, the super sticker givers, and just everyone, really, in general, including the bulletproof Metrix moderators, the fantastic mods. Best mods in town, best mods around. Yeah. What else do we need to say? Well, just have a great day, have a great evening, have a great night. Sleep tight. Make yourself a sandwich. You know, a cup of tea, hot milk, maybe a full teaspoon of honey. Yeah, okay. We will see you real soon, guys. Real soon. Okay, and oh yeah, we've got new intros tomorrow, guys. Hopefully. I'm going to see how long that takes me to produce. And also our fantastic... Yeah, well, we'll leave it there, guys. True Crime Metrics out. Thanks for being here, guys. So good to see all of you.